Chapter 3067. This Xian Yin was really terrifying. If it wasn't for Lin Xian, no one would be able to defeat him. Only the northern beasts would be able to defeat him. That was indeed the case. The terrifying murderous aura pierced through the 9 heavens, causing even Qing Wu's body to tremble. It was too strong, so strong that she couldn't contend with it. In the face of such a terrifying murderous aura, Lin Xian was like a phantom, moving quickly in the endless murderous aura. At the same time, a sharp sword qi burst out from his body. He waved his hands, and the sword qi rushed forward, destroying the monstrous, murderous aura. How was this possible? How could his strength be so strong? The people of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion were stunned. Lin Xian was beyond their imagination. Xian Yin was even more shocked. The other party was very relaxed in his murderous aura, as if he was taking a stroll in the park. This scene almost caused him to break down, especially the sword qi from the other party. It was even more terrifying than his murderous aura. He couldn't bear it. "Damn kid, I want you dead." The moment the other party destroyed the murderous aura, Xian Yin quickly rushed forward. He spat out a blood light from his mouth, spraying it on the fan in his hand. Immediately, the simple fan trembled, emitting an incomparable blood light. The blood light filled the sky, and the 6 ancient runes jumped out again, surrounded by endless blood, exuding an incomparably terrifying aura. "Kid, go to hell." Blood fiend 6 runes. The 6 blood runes were like the sun, filled with a monstrous blood aura, instantly shrouding Lin Xian. Great! Xian Yun had used this attack. The kid was definitely dead. An invincible king couldn't contend with it. This was a sure kill attack. The people of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion regained their confidence. The people of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were indeed worried. Even the elders who were watching in the dark felt their hearts beating wildly. Damn it! The murderous aura of these 6 blood runes was too shocking. It could destroy everything. They wondered how this Lin Xian would deal with it. His 9 yang divine body should be fine. The 9 yang divine body of a sage should be fine. I wonder what level this kid has reached. Everyone couldn't help but worry for Lin Xian. Lin Xian naturally felt a great sense of danger. These 6 blood runes were not simple. There was no need to look at them to know that they were the work of a saint. He was too powerful. Lin Xian took a deep breath and waved his arm again. However, the arc this time was different from the previous one. However, it was still very slow. It didn't seem to have any power, nor did it explode with light. However, once it appeared in the air, the surrounding crimson runes began to tremble. They were simply unable to withstand it. Damn it! How is this possible? When Xian Yin caught sight of this, he shrieked out. The 6 blood malevolent runes should have been able to suppress everything. But to think that they would be shaken by the other party so easily. What was he trying to do? Xian Yin was about to go crazy. Whoosh! This time, as Lin Xian waved his arm, an arc appeared in the sky. When this arc appeared, it seemed to open up a gap. Flames that filled the sky flew out. Flames? It's useless. Extinguish! Xian Yun roared. It's just a mere flame. How can it destroy 6 of my runes? How naive! However, he soon realized that he was the naive one. After the flames appeared, they directly enveloped the 6 blood malevolent runes. The 6 blood malevolent runes emitted a terrifying power. However, they were quickly burned away, leaving nothing behind. What kind of flame is this? How can it be so powerful? Xian Yun was stunned. The people of Heavenly Clouds Mansion behind him were also stunned. They couldn't believe it. The people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion were also shocked. Is this the 9 Suns' divine fire? But is the 9 Suns' divine fire that terrifying? Has Lin Xian's 9 Suns' divine body become stronger again? It wasn't that they had never seen the 9 Suns' divine fire before. Previously, when Lin Xian fought with He Mo, he had used it. However, Although the Nine Suns' divine fire was powerful at that time, it wasn't terrifying to this extent. "This kid really has a lot of trump cards," the elders in the dark exclaimed. "It's not the Nine Suns' divine fire. This kid actually comprehended another power." These elders were too excited, because this curve was obviously different from the previous one. The previous one could dissolve and shatter everything. It was very violent and had a destructive aura, but this one was the law of fire. These were two completely different powers. This kid could actually comprehend two powers in 2 months and unleash a power that was close to Tao. This was simply too shocking for these elders to handle. Buzz, buzz, buzz! In the sky, terrifying flames surged and flew forward, enveloping Xian Yun. "Impossible, you can't hurt me. Get lost!" Xian Yun roared crazily. He soared into the sky and charged forward. He wanted to extinguish the flames. He waved the fan in his hand, and waves rushed out, wanting to extinguish the flames. However, he quickly retreated because the waves he created were instantly vaporized into white mist that drifted in all directions. When he approached the flames, he felt his body melting. This flame was too powerful. It wasn't something he could resist. Even if he had the swan fan, it wouldn't be enough. Go around the flames and attack from other places. Xian Yun's idea was good, but he still underestimated this power that was close to Tao. When he moved, those flames also moved. The speed was quick to the extreme. In an instant, it formed a cage enveloping him. The frightening power of the flames continued to crush down. "Damn it, block for me!" Xian Yun roared angrily, casting the swan fan to block. The power that was close to Tao was too terrifying. Even Xian Yun could only protect himself. While at this time, Lin Xian cast Annihilation again. He comprehended a total of 2 powers that were close to Tao. One could destroy everything, which he called Annihilation. The second was this kind of flame, which he called Smoke Fire. The moment the power of Annihilation was released, it shattered everything, directly sending the swan fan flying. Xian Yun completely despaired. Without the swan fan, he could not resist the surrounding flames at all. In an instant, the battle armor on his body melted, shattering into pieces. His body was also ignited, screaming miserably. Still not admitting defeat, Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Damn it!" Xian Yun screamed. In the next moment, half of his body turned into a sea of blood. His miserable appearance made the scalps of the people of the heavenly cloud mansion tingle. "Stop! How dare you!" The people of the heavenly cloud mansion screamed crazily. Many of them rushed over. However, they were soon blasted back by the flames. "It's too terrifying. These flames are not something we can stop. Damn it, if you dare to kill him, you're dead meat." Humph! At this moment, a cold voice came from the void. Then, a ray of light lit up and turned into a monstrous water, extinguishing all of Lin Xian's flames. Then, the monstrous water wrapped around Xian Yun and saved him. An expert had made his move. Chapter 3068. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. To be able to break the power that was close to Tao, it was most likely a sage or a half-sage. It should be an elder of the heavenly cloud mansion. Indeed, an old man appeared in the sky. His face was extremely ugly. Previously, he was hiding in the dark like the elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion. After all, it was not suitable for the elders to intervene in the battle between the younger generation. However, although he was hiding in the dark, he was very happy. The people they sent this time were too strong, especially Xian Yun. He directly beat up the extraordinary scholar manor until it was dead silent, suffering repeated defeats. This naturally made them very happy. However, they did not expect that Lin Xian would appear and defeat Xian Yun with 2 simple moves. Even now, half of Xian Yun's body was ignited and he was almost killed. This scene forced the elder of the heavenly cloud mansion to take action. If he took action a little later, Xian Yun's body and soul would have been destroyed. Great, It was the elder who took action. The geniuses of the heavenly cloud mansion also heaved a sigh of relief. "You've won this battle," the elder of the heavenly cloud mansion said coldly. Hearing this, the geniuses of the heavenly cloud mansion had ugly expressions while the extraordinary warrior mansion cheered. "This is great. He won, he finally won. And he defeated Xian Yun in a domineering manner. As expected of Lin Xian, he's really powerful. A peerless genius. This kid will definitely defy the heavens in the future." Yes, those two moves were too terrifying. Even the northern demon and Yu Linglong would have a headache if they encountered them. They were overjoyed. Lin Xian said in a deep voice, since he had lost, he should fulfill the bet. What? As soon as these words came out, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were stunned. Yes, there was still a bet. The faces of the people of the heavenly cloud mansion darkened. Xian Yun was trembling with anger. What a joke! You want me to kowtow and admit my mistake? Impossible! He screamed like a madman. The elder of the heavenly cloud mansion also darkened his face. Junior, don't go too far. Go too far? Su Qin smiled. Did you think he went too far when he used his magical weapon to suppress the geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion? When he humiliated the geniuses of our house of prodigies? Did you think it was too much? When he wanted to lay his hands on the number one beauty of our house of prodigy? Did you think it was too much? You didn't even step out when he did something so outrageous before. Now that he's asked to kowtow and admit his mistake, you're jumping out instead? What? Do you think there's no one in my house of prodigy? At this point, Lin Xian glanced at the void. In the dark, a few elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion laughed. This little guy seems to have discovered our existence. Humph. These people from the heavenly clouds mansion are too hateful. Do they really think this is their territory? Let's go out and let them know whose territory this is. In the sky, several figures appeared, bringing with them great power. Suppress an area. The elder had appeared. The geniuses of the outstanding scholar mansion cheered. On the other hand, the faces of the heavenly clouds mansion's people turned even gloomier. Fellow Taoist, it's best that we don't interfere in the battle between the younger generation. That's right. I have 6,000 years old spirit tea here. Why don't you go and have a taste? Several elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion surrounded and stared at the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion. The face of the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion was terrifyingly dark. He didn't expect the elder of the extraordinary warrior mansion to be so direct. If he left, Xian Yun's fate would be very miserable. However, at this time, the blue-clothed youth below said in a deep voice, "Elder, don't worry. With me here, there won't be any problems. Well, I'll leave this place to you. I'll go and have a taste of the 6,000 years old spirit tea." After saying that, the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion coldly snorted. He put away the 3,000 spirit tea and placed Xian Yun on the ground. Then he turned around and disappeared in the sky with the other elders of the extraordinary warrior mansion. Left? The other party left just like that? The geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion were stunned. It shouldn't be. Isn't he afraid that Xian Yun will kowtow and admit his mistake? No. There's something wrong with that blue-clothed youth. His words made the elder of the heavenly clouds mansion so relieved. Who is this person? I don't know. He's not one of the top geniuses of the heavenly clouds mansion. Who is he? Damn, is he a newcomer of the heavenly clouds mansion? How many geniuses did the heavenly clouds mansion send this time? Qing Wu sneered. No matter who came, the bet couldn't be changed. Kneel. Kowtow. Admit your mistake. Apologize. She was really angry. Previously, this group of people provoked and even humiliated her. They even wanted to take advantage of her. How could she not return the favor now? Yes, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion also shouted crazily. Their voices were like thunder, shaking the 9 heavens. Kneel. Apologize. The geniuses of the extraordinary warrior mansion were very excited. This matter wasn't over yet. They would definitely spread the news to the ancient Star Road. They were really too excited. The people of the Heavenly Clouds mansion were so angry that they wanted to vomit blood. Damn it. If this news spread to the ancient Star Road, they would really lose face. Damn it, they were too careless. They didn't expect that the other party would have such a powerful person. They originally thought that since the Northern Monster, Yulinglong, and other top geniuses were in seclusion, there weren't many powerful geniuses in the extraordinary warrior mansion. Coupled with the swan fan in Xianyun's hand, they could definitely sweep the place. When the time came, they would spread the news to the ancient Star Road and humiliate the extraordinary warrior mansion. However, they didn't expect that a red-robed kid would appear halfway. He was so terrifying that he defeated Xianyun with just a few moves. In fact, even their elders had been taken away by them. Now, they were faced with a difficult choice. To kneel or not to kneel. Damn kid, don't even think about it. Kill me if you have the guts. Xianyun roared, his face ferocious. Humph, it's not up to you. Lin Xian strode forward. Today, you have to kneel even if you don't want to. In the sky, a big hand bloomed with the power of flames and grabbed at Xianyun. It seemed that Lin Xian wanted to force Xianyun to kneel down. No, damn it, don't you dare. Xianyun roared, but now that he was seriously injured, he wasn't Lin Xian's opponent at all. He was about to be enveloped by the big flaming hand. However, at this moment, a thunderbolt pierced through the void and penetrated the big flaming hand. Who made the move? It was the blue-robed man. The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion exclaimed. Qing Wu, Zhong Lingxiu, and other top geniuses were also shocked. The other party actually had an expert, and it seemed that he was even more powerful than Xianyun. Damn it, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion was too despicable. They actually sent so many experts, while their experts were in seclusion. Fortunately, Lin Xian came, otherwise they would really be in danger this time. Lin Xian was also surprised. He raised his head and looked at the other party. The other party could easily destroy his palm, which was beyond his expectations. It seemed that he should be a strong enemy. Who are you? Lin Xian asked coldly. Why? Do you want to break the contract? You want to walk the ancient path of the starry sky? Don't worry, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion is a man of his word. The blue-robed man walked forward and said coldly, However, I want to make another bet with you. Fight with me. If you win, I'll make Xianyun apologize and chop off his arms. Moreover, I'll give you 50 kilograms of cold, iron starry cloudstone. If you lose, then the previous bet will be written off. How about it? Chapter 3069. Hearing this, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were in an uproar. They did not expect that the young man in blue would still fight. After seeing how powerful Lin Xian was, he still wanted to fight. Where did this person get his confidence from? Who was he? How dare he fight with him? Yes, we won't lose anything from this bet. If we win, we can make Xianyun apologize. We can also get 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloudstone. This was an extremely precious metal, a material used to forge a half-saint weapon, and it was very rare. 50 kilograms was a lot. It was enough to forge a half-saint weapon. Yes, even if he lost, it was nothing. Everyone was discussing. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The other party was so confident that he wanted to fight with him. Well, he wanted to see where the other party got his confidence from. Okay, I agree to fight with you. As soon as the words came out, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion cheered, while the people of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion sneered. He dared to fight with Senior Brother Chen. He was courting death. Senior Brother Chen would never lose. Senior Brother Chen's strength was far above Xianyun. That kid definitely did not know Senior Brother Chen. Otherwise, he would not dare to fight with him. Kid, you're definitely no match for Senior Brother Chen. Xianyun, who was at the side, also recovered and snorted coldly. He retreated to the side with an extremely cold expression. Only the young man in blue and Lin Xian were left in the field. Lin Xian took a deep breath, and a piercing light burst out from his eyes. He held the blazing Qilin sword in his hand and slashed down. He did not use the two forces that were close to Dao, because although the two forces were terrifying, it would consume a lot of energy to use them. With Lin Xian's current strength, he could only use a few moves. He could only use it as a trump card. Previously, Xian Yun was too arrogant, and he wanted to suppress him with a thunderous method. So he used the force that was close to Dao. Moreover, he also wanted to see how terrifying this force was. Now he had seen it. However, the young man in blue in front of him was a great threat to him. He was even above Xian Yun. Moreover, he did not know what his opponent's trump card was. Therefore, he didn't use anything close to the power of the Dao. However, even if he didn't use these two powers, Lin Xian's strength was still very strong. At this moment, when the sword light appeared, it swept across the 9 heavens and 10 earths. What? He was a swordsman. The people of the heavenly clouds mansion behind him screamed. This sword was too terrifying. Who would have thought that Lin Xian did not display his terrifying strength, but instead used a sword technique? Xian Yun's eyelids twitched violently. Even if his opponent did not possess such strength, just this sword technique alone was not something that he could contend against. This made him even more terrified. Who exactly was this person? Could he really be the peerless genius who comprehended the moon-gazing, wordless steel? The blue-clothed man was also shocked. Lin Xian's sword technique was a threat to him. The space around him collapsed rapidly, as if there was a sharp force that wanted to cut him in half. Swordsman? The man in blue sneered. He raised his hand and pressed forward. Blue runes floated out from his palm, emitting a hazy glow that grew larger and larger. Xiao Chen threw a palm strike, and the sharp sword light in the sky quickly melted away. Was it broken? Zhong Lingxiu frowned. Qing Wu also exclaimed. Her opponent had broken Lin Xian's sword qi so easily. Lin Xian was also stunned. He was indeed a difficult opponent. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Dozens of swords flew out, sweeping across heaven and earth. However, with a wave of the blue palm, Lin Xian's sword qi was completely annihilated. What's going on? Lin Xian was surprised. This force was a bit like his annihilation. Indeed, the sword qi did not collapse, but gradually became smaller, like a flame that quickly disappeared and finally disappeared. What kind of force was this? Could it be that his opponent had also mastered a force that was close to Dao? She shouldn't have missed that terrifying heartbeat. Ha ha ha, kid, are you an idiot? Let me tell you, our senior brother Qin is a super expert. His strength is not something that you can contend with. Senior brother Chen's poisonous palm can melt and corrode everything in the world. No matter how strong your sword qi is, you can't block it. A poison expert. The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion behind him were stunned. Could it be him? Someone screamed. Chen Ku, known as the Poison King, had terrifying strength. The poison in his body was extremely strange. When fighting with him, one could be poisoned unknowingly. Hearing this, the people of the extraordinary warrior mansion were terrified. They were no strangers to the Poison King, but few people had seen him before. Everyone only knew his name, but they did not expect him to be the blue-robed man in front of them. No wonder the elders of the heavenly cloud mansion were so relieved. The Poison King was a veteran expert. Moreover, he was very famous in the heavenly cloud mansion and was one of the top experts. Damn it, they did not expect that a dark horse like Xian Yin would appear this time, and a veteran expert like the Poison King would come too. The heavenly cloud mansion was too hateful. Lin Xian, be careful of his poison. You will be in danger if you are contaminated. It was said that almost no one among the invincible kings could detoxify his poison. A poison expert? Lin Xian frowned. No wonder he could melt his sword qi before. It turned out that he had used poison to melt it. He really hadn't seen many poison experts like this. Generally, he could kill those who were weak with a single sword strike. There were very few people who were strong enough to use poison. Moreover, Lin Xian did not have much experience fighting against poison experts. But so what? A cold light burst out from his eyes, and the sword in his hand fell again. This time the power was stronger. It was useless. Chen Ke shook his head and waved his cold poison palm. In the palm, strange blue runes floated, and the corrosive power made the void collapse. Nothing could withstand his poison, and his opponent's sword qi would be instantly corroded. Buzz! It was not corroded. The next moment, Chen Ke's eyelids twitched. He found that although the sword qi was affected by his poison gas, it suddenly burst out with a cold light. It slashed down with an extremely terrifying power. Swoosh! Chen Ke's figure flickered, turned into a blue smoke, and disappeared. What was going on? That kid was not affected by the corrosion. How could his sword qi be so fierce? Impossible. Even the attack of a quasi-saint artifact would be affected. What was the grade of the sword in the kid's hand? The people of the heavenly cloud mansion screamed. No, it was just a quasi-saint artifact. How could its power be so terrifying? The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion also breathed a sigh of relief. They knew that it was not the blazing Qilin sword that was too terrifying, but Lin Xian had the great dragon sword soul. That biting cold sword qi would not be so easily destroyed. Sure enough, one sword strike, 2 swords, 3 swords, the poison gas in the sky was all cut open. The sky was clear again, and the corroded black hole slowly disappeared. Chen Ke was suppressed. They could not believe it. Impossible. How could senior brother be suppressed? Chapter 3070. Chen Ke's face was extremely cold. How could this biting cold sword qi break my frost-poisoned palm? His face was also a little gloomy, and the blue runes in his hand slowly disappeared. Interesting. I'm getting more and more interested in you. I wonder how you're going to fight next. Chen Ke flipped his palm, and a palm-sized black box was taken out by him. Then, with a wave of his finger, the lid of the box opened, and a 7-colored centipede appeared inside. A 7-colored centipede. Damn it, this guy actually has this thing. Don't let it bite you. Otherwise, even a half-step saint will die. Behind him, Qing Wu also screamed. She didn't expect Chen Ke to have such a terrifying 7-colored centipede. Whoosh! As she spoke, the 7-colored centipede turned into a ray of light and flew out. In an instant, it disappeared into the void. It disappeared. Damn it, where is it? The people of the extraordinary warrior mansion exclaimed. Qing Wu's face was pale, and Zhong Linxiu's eyes were mysterious. Lin Xian stopped and frowned. A 7-colored centipede? He knew that it was an extremely terrifying poisonous insect. If bitten by it, an invincible king would instantly be poisoned to death. This 7-colored centipede was also an extremely terrifying monster in ancient times. He didn't expect Chen Ke to have one. He didn't know how old it was. But even if it was a larva, the poison was probably not something an invincible king could withstand. Lin Xian opened his heavenly secret divine eyes. He saw a blurry 7-colored light in the void, moving quickly. In an instant, it came behind him and pounced fiercely. Get lost! He waved the blazing Qilin sword and slashed out a ray of sword light directly behind him. With a clang, the 7-colored centipede was shaken out and flew out. What? He actually found the 7-colored centipede. That's impossible. The people of the heavenly cloud mansion screamed, and Chen Ke's eyelids twitched. The 7-colored centipede could escape into the void without a trace. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to find it at all. Even powerful geniuses wouldn't be able to find it without a special secret method. How did Chen Ke find it? And it was so accurate. After sending the 7-colored centipede flying, Lin Xian turned into a ray of divine light and rushed forward. The blazing Qilin sword continued to slash at the seven-colored centipede. Damn it! Get lost! Chen Ku roared madly and controlled the seven-colored centipede to counterattack. But under the heavenly fortune divine eyes, there was nowhere for the seven-colored centipede to hide. With the support of the great dragon sword soul, Lin Xian's sword qi was extremely terrifying. It forced the seven-colored centipede to retreat. Puchi! The seven-colored centipede opened its mouth and spat out a seven-colored poisonous mist toward Lin Xian's face. If he breathed it in, Lin Xian would immediately die from the poison. Qing Wu, Zhong Lingxiu, and the others were extremely nervous. Puchi! Lin Xian slashed down with his sword. The power of the great dragon sword spirit erupted, causing the sword qi to be incomparably sharp. This sword cleaved the seven-colored poison mist apart. The remaining poison tried to enter Lin Xian's body, but the nine-yang divine body emitted a divine light and blocked the seven-colored poison mist. Lin Xian continued to chase after the seven-colored centipede in the poisonous fog. Damn it! How is this possible? How can he block it? What kind of body does he have? Xian Yun screamed like a madman. Chen Ku's eyelids were also twitching. Damn it! Who the hell is this person? Why do I feel that he's ridiculously strong? Clang! 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 The blazing Qilin's sword struck the seven-colored centipede, producing thunderous sounds and shattering the surrounding space. Finally, a crack appeared on the seven-colored centipede's body. Although it was small, it was still injured. Seeing this, Chen Ku screamed like a madman and wanted to recall the seven-colored centipede. Stay here! Lin Xian snorted and drew a strange arc with the blazing Qilin sword. Annihilation! A destructive force burst out and slammed into the crack. With a puchi, the crack became bigger, and the seven-colored centipede's body was directly torn apart. Roar! The seven-colored centipede was an invincible monster king. It was very powerful, and its body was even tougher. However, it was still broken by someone. The seven-colored centipede let out a crazy roar. In addition, Chen Ku was controlling it from afar. It turned into a stream of light and fled far away. However, the seven-colored poisonous blood that remained in the air turned into poisonous arrows and pierced towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's sword moved again. Smoke and fire! A terrifying and mysterious power surged from the sword and gradually destroyed all the poisonous swords. The next moment, he turned his head and stared into the distance. Damn it! How dare you hurt my baby? I won't let you off. Chen Ku put away the seven-colored centipede and placed it in the brocade box. He had a pained look on his face. The seven-colored centipede was seriously injured. It would probably take a few decades for it to fully recover. This made his heart bleed. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You're still worried about the seven-colored centipede? I'll worry about you first. As he said that, he turned into a stream of light and strode forward. However, halfway through he stopped. His body swayed, and he almost fell from the sky. What's going on? Behind him, the people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion exclaimed. Qing Wu and Zhong Lingxiu also screamed. Was Li Xian injured? It shouldn't be. Previously, the seven-colored centipede did not hurt Lin Xian. Chen Ku looked up to the sky and laughed. Ha 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 ha, kid, you're still poisoned. You want to fight with me? You're still far from it. What poisoned? That's impossible. Qing Wu screamed. Zhong Lingxiu also frowned. Xian Yun sneered. I've said it before. You're no match for Senior Brother Qin. The experts of Heavenly Cloud's mansion also laughed. Haha, this kid, is he an idiot? You want to fight with Senior Brother Qin? Can you resist? After being poisoned, you're useless. Let's see how our Senior Brother Qin cripples you. Poisoned? Lin Xian also frowned. His face was gloomy and cold. It shouldn't be. How could he be poisoned? The cold poison palm was broken by him, and the 7-colored centipede was also crippled by him. During the whole process, he was not injured. How could he be poisoned? No, wait. Lin Xian was shocked. He could feel that he was indeed poisoned in his body. His golden eyes burst out with a cold light, and a crescent moon floated in his eyes. This is poison gas. Colorless and odorless. An undetectable poison gas. Lin Xian was shocked. He did not expect that his opponent would use such a colorless and odorless poison gas. He did not notice it at all. If it wasn't for the poison in his body, he would not have noticed it at all. Bang! A big blue palm with poison gas slapped over, enveloping Lin Xian and sending him flying. Lin Xian flew out and landed on the ground, causing countless large cracks. Lin Xian, the people of Extraordinary Warrior Mansion, screamed crazily. Qing Wu and the others were also nervous to the extreme. Chun Ku frowned. He was not injured. He found that although he sent his opponent flying with this palm, his opponent's physique was not injured. His poison gas did not even enter his opponent's body. It only circulated on the surface of his body. What kind of physique is this? It's too strong. Chen Ku frowned, but soon he revealed a ferocious expression. Chapter 3071. So what if the other party's physique was strong? He was now poisoned by the devil flower. He was already seriously injured and on the verge of death. He did not have any strength to resist at all. He could torture and kill the other party at will. He would let these people from the House of Prodigy know who was the real powerhouse. It's over. Lin Xian is in danger. Yes, he was actually poisoned. The Poison King's poison was definitely not that easy to detoxify. He probably could not unleash his strength at all right now. Careless. Lin Xian should have directly displayed those 2 incomparably mysterious powers and defeated the Poison King. Those 2 incomparably mysterious powers definitely could not be easily released. Moreover, it looked like Lin Xian wanted to probe the Poison King's strength previously. This strategy was not wrong. It was just that he did not expect the Poison King to release the Devil Flower's poison at an unknown time. Damn it, luckily we have a peerless array protecting us. Otherwise, we would already be dead people now. These people from the House of Prodigy felt their heads and feet go cold. Indeed, if they encountered the Poison King outside, they probably would not even know how they died. Hee. Watch how Senior Apprentice Brother Qin will torture him to death. Xian Yun revealed a sinister smile. Chun Ku walked up in large strides. On his palm, countless poisonous insects flew out, turning into a poisonous blade, incomparably sinister. Slashing out, the void was instantly corroded. This blade slashed onto Lin Xian's body, sending Lin Xian flying again. However, how powerful was the 9-yang divine body? Lin Xian had already cultivated it to the 5th level now. In other words, his current physique had already surpassed an invincible king realm. Ordinary attacks really couldn't hurt him, unless it was something like using poison or a power close to Tao. Damn it, this kid's physique was actually so strange. Chun Ku also frowned. He waved his hand, and that poisonous sword flew forward, turning into countless poisonous lights, completely enveloping Lin Xian. I don't believe that I can't poison you to death. The poisonous insects covered the sky, covered Lin Xian's body, constantly biting and releasing poisonous gas, making sonorous sounds. The 9-yang divine body was swallowed up. This scene was very terrifying. Qing Wu and the others were on tenterhooks. Looking at this scene, they wanted to help, but the battle was still not over. If they made a move, it would mean that Lin Xian was done for. They could not accept this result. Lin Xian was also affected by being surrounded by so many poisonous insects. Although the 9-yang divine body is powerful, it still hasn't reached the sage realm. And now he was poisoned, causing him to suffer from internal and external impacts, causing his blood and qi to roil. Poison? Do you really think you can poison me? Great Dragon Sword Spirit, attack. The dragon soul in Lin Xian's body roared and turned into countless sword lights that pierced through every inch of his flesh and blood, completely obliterating the poisonous gas. Up ahead, Chen Ku walked over once more. He looked at Lin Xian, who was lying on the ground and surrounded by a myriad of poisons, and a savage smile appeared on his face. He took out the 7-colored centipede again and spat out a drop of blood essence to envelop the 7-colored centipede. "Go, you can take your revenge now," Chen Ku said to the rainbow centipede in her hand. The 7-colored centipede's eyes emitted a blood-red light. It let out a savage roar that shattered the heavens and the earth as it rushed forward quickly. It wanted to pierce through Lin Xian. The 7-colored centipede flew forward, and the poisonous insects quickly spread out, forming a vacuum zone. It couldn't be helped. The 7-colored centipede was the supreme king of the poisonous insect world. It was all thanks to Chen Ku that the poisonous insects didn't collapse from fright. It was Chen Ku who controlled the 7-colored centipede. Otherwise, these poisonous insects would have all been killed by the 7-colored centipede. The 7-colored centipede turned into a stream of light and instantly rushed towards Lin Xian's head, wanting to eat his brain. Not good. Seeing this scene, Qing Wu, Zhong Lingxiu, and the others screamed. The faces of those from the outstanding scholar mansion also changed greatly. Ordinary poisonous insects couldn't break through Lin Xian's body, but the 7-colored centipede was different. It could even poison a half-saint to death. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, he would probably die from the poison after being bitten by the 7-colored centipede. The people from the Heavenly Clouds mansion sneered. Xianyin even showed a savage smile. The 7-colored centipede had already arrived in front of Lin Xian and was about to attack. However, at this moment, a large golden hand grabbed the 7-colored centipede. What? Chen Ku was stunned. Did he attack? How could he still attack? It shouldn't be. He was already crippled after being poisoned by his demon flower poison. Lin Xian opened his eyes and looked at the shocked Chen Ku in front of him. He looked at the struggling 7-colored centipede in his hand. The corners of his mouth lifted into a smile. Demon flower poison? It's powerful, but it can't do anything to me. Puff! Lin Xian exerted force in his palm and directly crushed the 7-colored centipede, turning it into countless poisonous blood that scattered in all directions. No! Damn it! Chen Ku screamed crazily. The 7-colored centipede also screamed. Its body reformed in the distance, but the light on its body dimmed a lot. Obviously, although this attack didn't kill it, it was severely injured. Come back! Chen Ku recalled the 7-colored centipede and put it back into his body. His heart was bleeding. The 7-colored centipede was already injured and would need dozens of years to recover. This time, it probably wouldn't be able to recover for at least 100 years. Damn kid, I'm going to kill you. He went crazy. 2 poisonous knives appeared in his hands, and he slashed forward crazily. Buzz! Lin Xian stood up and waved the fire Qilin sword, knocking away the 2 poisonous knives. He clenched his left hand into a fist, and like a golden crow, he punched Chen Ku and sent him flying. Damn it, how can you be so powerful? Have you recovered your strength? Chen Ku vomited blood, his face full of horror. Had the demon flower poison been neutralized? He couldn't believe it. No invincible king could neutralize the demon flower poison. Even a half-saint's strength would be greatly reduced if he accidentally inhaled it. But now, Chen Ku was completely fine. Could it be that Chen Ku had forcibly suppressed it? No, no one could forcibly suppress the demon flower poison. Buzz! Lin Xian struck out with annihilation, shattering Chen Ku's body and causing him to scream in fear. Stop, you've won this battle. He didn't dare to continue fighting. The 7-colored centipede was injured, and Chen Ku still had those 2 mysterious and terrifying powers. If he continued fighting, he would probably end up in a miserable state. Therefore, he quickly admitted defeat. We've lost. The people of the heavenly cloud mansion were stunned. That was Chen Ku, the Poison King. How terrifying was his strength! But now he had admitted defeat? They couldn't believe it. Xian Yun screamed crazily. No, senior brother Chen can't lose. You still have the strength to fight. He was going crazy. If Chen Ku admitted defeat, he would be the unluckiest one. He had to apologize to Chen Ku. Shut up. Chen Ku's face darkened. He turned his head and stared at Xian Yun. With a wave of his hand, countless poisonous insects turned into a huge hand and grabbed Xian Yun. I've said that I'll punish Xian Yun after you've won. Then 2 rays of light burst out from his eyes and cut off Xian Yun's arms. Xian Yun screamed and rolled on the ground. His body was dyed red with blood, but he didn't dare to resist. Although he was a young genius, he was still too weak compared to Chen Ku. Moreover, he couldn't resist Chen Ku's poison at all. Hurry up and apologize, Chen Ku shouted coldly. Chapter 3072. Xian Yun was unwilling to do so, but when he saw Chen Ku's cold and twisted face, his heart raced. He did not dare to resist. Otherwise, Chen Ku's poison would be enough to kill him. Xian Yun's eyes turned red and his body trembled as he gritted his teeth and roared. Sorry, I apologize for my previous provocation and arrogance. Hearing Xian Yun's apology, Qing Wu opened her mouth wide. Those from the outstanding warrior mansion were also shocked. Whoosh! They screamed excitedly. He apologized. Haha, he actually apologized. That's great. These people from the heavenly cloud mansion are still so arrogant. Get out. This is the territory of the outstanding warrior mansion. In the future, if you see anyone from the outstanding warrior mansion on the ancient star path, you'll have to take a detour. Do you understand? Otherwise, I'll beat you until you piss your pants. They were overjoyed. Originally, the heavenly cloud mansion was so arrogant and they were helpless when they came to their territory. However, Lin Xian's appearance turned everything around. He even defeated the terrifying Poison King and made the arrogant Xian Yun apologize in public. Xian Yun even had his arms chopped off. This was definitely a great victory. Lin Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. He stared at Xian Yun and sneered. All right, get out of here. With your strength, it's impossible for you to do anything in the outstanding warrior mansion. Go back and cultivate for another 1,000 years. Kid, what's your name? Chen Ku asked coldly. My name is Lin Xian. If you have any tricks, feel free to come at me. Lin Xian waved his hand and did not care. All right, Lin Xian, right? I'll remember you. Let's go. Chen Ku's face was gloomy as he led the crowd away. Xian Yun stopped the bleeding and his whole body was twisted. Kid, I'll never let you off on the ancient star path. He took his broken arms and left quickly. Get out of here. Get out of the outstanding warrior mansion. The Sky Prides from the outstanding warrior mansion laughed proudly. Then they quickly came to Lin Xian's side and they were all excited. Lin Gongzi, you're too cool. That's right, Brother Lin. That move of yours just now was too powerful. How did you cure the devil flower's poison? These people looked at Lin Xian excitedly. Previously, their idol was only the number 1 of the 4 peaks. But now, there was one more, and that was Lin Xian. This time, Lin Xian could be said to have saved them and redeemed the reputation of the Prodigy Manor. Thank you so much for what you did. Qing Wu also had a rare blush on her small face as she thanked Lin Xian. Lin Xian glanced at her and said with a smile, A verbal thank you? Damn it, what else do you want? Qing Wu lightly snorted. Soon after, she remembered. Wait, don't go. Where's the promised 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloudstone? In the distance, those who were leaving were stunned. Chen Ku's body stiffened, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Gritting his teeth, he tossed out a storage ring with an unsightly expression on his face. Qing Wu grabbed it in her hand. All right, I'll give you this cold iron nebula stone. This is good stuff. You're quite good at presenting Buddha with borrowed flowers. Lin Xian rubbed his nose. This should have been given to him in the first place. Who said so? I used myself as a wager. Of course, the things I won are mine. Now, I'm giving it to you to return the favor, Qing Wu said angrily. Thinking of this, she became angry. This hateful guy, he actually dared to use me as a wager without my consent. If it wasn't for the other party being so powerful, she would have beaten him up. However, Qing Wu was also very reluctant to give away 50 kilograms of cold iron starry cloudstone. Her beautiful big eyes stared straight at it. The others also swallowed their saliva. This was cold iron starry cloudstone. Not to mention 50 kilograms, even 500 kilograms could make an invincible king excited. After all, this was a material for refining a half-step saint tool. Lin Xian saw Qing Wu's reluctant look and felt funny. He said, I have no use for this thing. Why don't I trade with you? Take out whatever you have, and I'll trade with you. Really? You're willing to trade with me for cold iron starry cloudstone? After hearing this, Qing Wu exclaimed. This kind of Sister Han lucky stone was not only precious but also rare. Even if someone had it, they wouldn't take it out easily. This time, if the Poison King wasn't overconfident, he wouldn't have used it as a wager. She didn't expect that in the end, it would benefit Lin Xian. And now, Lin Xian actually took it out for a trade. Damn it! Does this guy know how precious this thing is? Qing Wu rolled her eyes. The surrounding people also let out cries of surprise. That Lin Gongzi, can we also trade some? A few geniuses in the surroundings whispered. Their eyes were filled with anticipation. Lin Xian nodded. Sure, as long as you can take out something that satisfies me. Indeed, Lin Xian didn't really need it, although it was very precious. He had the blazing Qilin sword, which was enough for him. As for armor, he didn't need it at all. His 9-yang divine body was better than any armor, unless it was a sage's weapon. However, he couldn't use that kind of thing now. As for half-step sage artifacts, Lin Xian had 2 or 3 of them, which was enough. Moreover, he could use the great dragon sword soul to evolve all kinds of divine abilities. In addition, now that he had the plenilune seed, he could observe the great Tao of heaven and earth. When the time came, the power of the plenilune seed would definitely surpass that of a half-step sage artifact. It would be better to trade for some natural treasures or elixirs, which would be more effective for him. Let me say this first, you don't need to give me weapons, cultivation techniques, or secret manuals. I don't need them for the time being. It would be best if you could give me some king herbs or special divine crystals. Of course, natural treasures for recovery and cultivation would be even better. I won't refuse any of them. I have 2 king herbs. How many can you give me? Qing Wu took out 2 king herbs in an instant. As soon as the 2 king herbs appeared, the spiritual energy in the surroundings instantly became rich. The eyes of the geniuses turned red. King herbs, these are good things. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect this little girl to be so rich. She took out 2 king herbs in one go. He nodded. Okay, 1 king herb can be exchanged for 10 kilograms. 2 king herbs can be exchanged for 10 kilograms of frost iron starry cloudstone. Qing Wu thought for a moment and felt that the value was about the same. She said, I'll trade. Wait, I have something else. This is half a kilogram of mutated fire-type divine crystal. My brother got it from the outer realm. It's called the Starry Sky Flame Divine Crystal. I'll give you 10 kilograms of frost iron starry cloudstone. How about it? Mutated fire-type divine crystal. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. This thing would be of great help to him cultivating the 9-yang divine fire and comprehending fire-type techniques. He immediately nodded. Okay, what else do you have? He was looking forward to it. Qing Wu searched again, and then took out a jade bottle about half the size of a palm. Inside the jade bottle was bright red blood. A drop of the blood essence of an invincible peak golden flame, beast king, far surpassed all the blood of other invincible kings. I'll give you 10 kilograms. How about it? Chapter 3073. Lin Xian thought for a while and then said, 10 caddies. Damn it, you're lucky. Qing Wu snorted. In the end, Qing Wu exchanged for 25 caddies, while Lin Xian put away 2 king herbs, a caddy of mutant fire elemental divine crystals, and half a bottle of invincible, perfect beast king's blood essence. This little girl understood him quite well. She would always give him something to make him angry. Seeing that Qing Wu had finished exchanging, the others were tempted. They also began to take out treasures and prepared to exchange. However, at this moment, Zhong Linqiu's red lips opened slightly. A great way scripture of the sage's enlightenment. It was left behind by the ancient sage of the Tao Yi Holy Land, recording the process of how he became a sage from an invincible king. As soon as these words came out, everyone exclaimed. Lin Xian's eyelids also twitched wildly. This was good stuff, but how could she be willing to take it out? As if sensing the fiery eyes of the people around and Lin Lingshuan's shock, Zhong Linqiu said lightly, It's not a complete book. It's an incomplete book, only up to the half-saint level. I'll give you the remaining 25 caddies. How about that? It turned out that it was only at the half-saint level. Many people breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Xian also came to a realization. No wonder she dared to take it out. However, even at the half-saint level, it was already very impressive. The Tao Yi Holy Land was already very terrifying and mysterious. They were born with a special connection with the Tao. In such a holy land, the notes left behind by an ancient sage would definitely be of great benefit. It was too important for him to comprehend the great way of heaven and earth. Although it was only at the half-saint level, it was still extremely precious. Therefore, Lin Xian did not hesitate to give the remaining 25 caddies to Zhong Linqiu. Zhong Linqiu took out a scroll and handed it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian carefully put it away. The others around sighed. They did not expect the last 25 caddies to be taken by Zhong Linqiu. However, there was no other way. The things she took out were good. The great way scripture of the sage's enlightenment was definitely priceless. Some people in the union were drooling. Lin Xian smiled at the crowd. Since the things had been distributed, he would take his leave. Let's work together next time. After saying that, his figure flashed and left. Qing Wu and Zhong Linqiu accepted the cold iron meteorite with great satisfaction and left. The others had regretful looks on their faces. However, when they thought of the previous battle, it was as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They hurriedly spread the news. Yes, let everyone know that we won. In an instant, the crowd quickly spread out. Soon, all the Sky Prides in the outstanding warrior manor knew about this battle. Not only that, some of them even spread the news to the outer space. It could be said that it had caused quite a stir. This was also the first time Ling Xian's name had been heard on the ancient road of the stars. On the other side, Lin Xian returned to the courtyard. He raised his hand and set up the array formation. Then he took out the Great Path Enlightenment Sutra excitedly. The Crimson Dragon also came out. It looked at the Great Tao Insight Sutra and drooled. This was really good stuff. He did not expect Zhong Linqiu, this girl, to be willing to take it out. Let me see if the Tao One Holy Ground is as mysterious as the rumors say. Lin Xian opened the scroll and studied it with the Crimson Dragon. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 5 days later, Lin Xian sighed. He had to admit that this was an incomparably precious enlightenment. Many things that he did not understand before were now enlightened. Indeed, this great Tao Insight Sutra recorded the growth experience and enlightenment of a saint. It was incomparably precious to a cultivator. Lin Xian was very lucky to be able to obtain it. He guessed that Zhong Lingxiu should be in great need of that metal to refine a kind of treasure. Otherwise, she would not have taken it out. The Great Tao Insight Sutra was not a cultivation technique, nor was it a secret manual. It was a record of a kind of enlightenment. This kind of enlightenment could allow Lin Xian to better understand the great Tao of heaven and earth. When Lin Xian used the Tianji Divine Eye and Plenilune Seed to observe the great Tao of heaven and earth again, he was even more enlightened than before. Of course, he knew that observing the great Tao of heaven and earth was a very long and lifelong thing. Lin Xian did not intend to achieve it overnight. The competition between the four great winds was getting closer and closer. Lin Xian decided to comprehend and improve the two types of power he had just comprehended, which were close to the Tao. Next, Lin Xian began to cultivate in seclusion. This time, even if the outside world spread rumors, he would not hear it. He sat cross-legged in the courtyard. Under his feet was a spirit gathering array, which was set up by Crimson Shinon. Around the spirit gathering array were treasures of heaven and earth, king herbs, and mutated fire elemental divine crystals. These things were placed in the spirit gathering array. Through the changes of the spirit gathering array, they provided Lin Xian with energy. Lin Xian cultivated. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was comprehending the scripture of enlightenment while cultivating his two new powers. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. There was still a month before the final competition. In the past 2 months, the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion could be said to be quite excited. The news that Lin Xian had defeated the Heavenly Clouds Mansion and defeated the Poison King had completely spread. At first, everyone was shocked and couldn't believe it, thinking that it was fake news. Later, they were sure, surprised, and excited. It could be said that they experienced a very complicated mood. Everyone knew that Lin Xian was incredible. He was definitely a prodigy and a dark horse. His strength had improved compared to before. It seemed that he would definitely be able to shine in this competition. In the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion, where would he rank? It was hard to say. He probably wouldn't be able to enter the top 5. Yes, he ranked second in the Full Moon Peak, and Huangfu Beitian, who ranked first, only ranked 5th in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. That was indeed the case. The Full Moon Peak was at the bottom. Even Huangfu Beitian, who ranked first, couldn't enter the top 4. Although Lin Xian was strong, he was still a little worse than Huangfu Beitian. He might be able to rank in the top 10. That's right. Last time, Hei Mo seemed to be ranked 9th. He defeated Hei Mo, so his strength should be 6th or 7th. But it would be difficult to get to the top. The people of the Full Moon Peak side. That's right. Hei Mo was so strong, but he was only ranked 9th in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. Huangfu Beitian, who ranked first, was only ranked 5th. Therefore, even though Lin Xian had displayed great strength and talent, he was still a genius. He even obtained the Full Moon Wordless Deal, but it was only a few months after all. It was not enough for Lin Xian's strength to change dramatically. So this time, in everyone's opinion, Lin Xian would only be in the top 10. It was basically impossible for him to get into the top 5. With the appearance of those geniuses who were in seclusion, a new round of storm came. What? Jun Huia had another breakthrough in comprehending the ethereal steel. Many people exclaimed. Jun Huia ranked 2nd in the Misty Peak and 4th in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. His strength was above Huangfu Beitian. This time, the other party had made new progress in comprehending the Misty Sky Steel. It was likely that his strength would undergo an earth-shattering change. Chapter 3074. Shui Ji, you had returned from the blood-refining planet? Damn it, this woman was a lunatic. She definitely had the strength to compete for the top 5 this time. Shui Jiyu, Ling Longfeng, ranked 2nd. She was a terrifying woman who cultivated in the blood-refining mountain all year round. The the blood-refining planet was not under the jurisdiction of the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. It was an ownerless planet not far from the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. This planet was too dangerous. It was a place where no one cared about. There were battles every day, and geniuses fell every day. It was extremely dangerous. Ordinary geniuses, like the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion and the Heavenly Clouds Mansion, would not go to such a place. Only those ambitious and ruthless people, perverts, lunatics, and those who had offended others from other planets could survive there. Shui Ji, you had been there all year round. She was definitely a terrifying lunatic. Mo Tian was also incredible. It was said that he had found the remains of a half-step saint and obtained a lot of good things. Mo Tian ranked 2nd on the Divine Tactics Mountain and 7th on the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. It seemed that this time he was also a popular candidate for the top 5. These were all top figures. Their fortuitous encounters and the changes in their strength were enough to cause a storm in the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. The full moon peak was also not calm because Hei Mo had also returned. Hei Mo did not choose the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion to cultivate in seclusion this time, but another planet. It was called the Fallen Abyssar. It was said that this planet was ruled by a demonic sect. The entire planet was filled with terrifying demons. However, a peerless expert passed by and killed all the demons in this world. That place became a purgatory on Earth. It could be said that it was a place with monstrous demonic chi. Those half-step saints were not willing to go there. This place was where Hei Mo cultivated in seclusion. Hei Mo had made up his mind this time because he'd suffered 2 consecutive blows during the ranking competition on Full Moon Peak. First, he'd lost to Huangfu Beitian, then he'd lost to Lin Xian, and this was something he couldn't accept. In particular, Lin Xian had successfully comprehended the full moon wordless steel, which stimulated Hei Mo even more. Therefore, Hei Mo disregarded everything and even risked his life to go to the fallen abyss. It was all for the sake of improving himself. After a few months of inhuman torture and some fortuitous encounters, his strength had finally undergone earth-shaking changes. He even obtained a broken treasure of the demonic sect, the demonic flag. Once he used the demonic chess set and added the power of his bloodline, he could reach 65,000 arcane power. Although it couldn't compare to the North Yao, it should be enough to deal with Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian. Damn brat, just you wait. This time, I will defeat you in front of everyone. I will let everyone know that I, Hei Mo, am the strongest. Black Demon grinned hideously. Demonic chi surged from his body as he returned to the full moon peak. The aura he brought with him alarmed the prodigies on the Plenilune Bee. Hei Mo was back. His aura was so powerful. Damn it, what had he gone through? How could his strength increase so quickly? I heard that he fell into the abyss. It couldn't be. That place had a high chance of survival. Even a half-saint wouldn't want to go there. Who would have thought that the Black Demon would dare to go? No wonder his strength had increased so quickly. Everyone was shocked. Black Demon returned. He shouted confidently and arrogantly, "Where are Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian? Tell them to come out. I will let them know who is the strongest person on the full moon peak." Everyone's expression changed when they heard that. They didn't expect that the first thing the Black Demon did after returning was to fight Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian. However, it was understandable. After all, the Black Demon was such a proud person, but he had been defeated by the 2 of them. Now that his strength had increased greatly, he naturally wanted to take revenge. Huangfu Beitian hadn't come out of seclusion yet, right? How much had his strength increased? Lin Xian should also be in seclusion. However, it wouldn't be easy for the Black Demon to defeat Lin Xian. Yes, Lin Xian had defeated the Poison King a few months ago. His strength was absolutely terrifying. Even if the Black Demon's strength had increased greatly, he might not be a match for him. After the Black Demon returned, he found that Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian were both in seclusion. This made him very unhappy. Could it be that he had to wait until the competition to deal with these two people? Thinking about it, he revealed a trace of malevolence. Fine, he would defeat these two people in front of everyone in the competition. The black demon had already imagined that scene in his mind. He would step on Huangfu Beitian and punch Lin Xian, showing off his strength. Thinking of this, he laughed complacently. This kind of scene was really exciting. However, half a day later, his face was gloomy, and his body was covered in monstrous demonic energy. Because he heard a rumor. This rumor was spread from the mouths of several martial artists. They said that he challenged Lin Xian and was in danger? There was almost no chance of winning. Damn it, how was this possible? Even if that kid was talented, his strength definitely didn't increase as fast as his. He entered the falling abyss this time and narrowly escaped death. That was why his strength increased greatly. It was really for revenge. That kid was only in seclusion and comprehending some things. How could he be stronger than him? What a joke! He didn't believe it at all. A bunch of idiots, what did they know? How could my strength increase, be imagined by you? If you talk nonsense again, I'll kill you. The black demon walked between the full moon peak and roared coldly at the geniuses who were discussing. Those geniuses felt their scalps go numb. Just the aura emitted by the black demon was enough to make them collapse. However, since Lin Xian represented the extraordinary warrior mansion and defeated the genius of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion, Xianyun and the Poison King, he had won a group of followers. Many of them were afraid of the black demon, but they still supported Lin Xian. One of the female geniuses was extremely beautiful. Even though her face was pale, she could not help but mutter softly, "That's right." What's wrong with that? Although you're powerful, Lin Gongzi also defeated the Poison King. That's right, Lin Gongzi's strength is super strong. He might not lose. Another female martial artist also discussed in a low voice. What did you say? He defeated the Poison King? The black demon's hearing was very strong. Although the two female geniuses whispered, he still heard them clearly. When he heard the news, the black demon's first reaction was that it was impossible. What a joke! How could that kid defeat the Poison King? He knew that the Poison King was a genius of the Heavenly Clouds Mansion, and he was an expert in using poison. The Poison King's divine ability was strange and impossible to guard against. If a king realm cultivator was careless, there was no way to cure his poison, especially when the Poison King had the 7-colored centipede. Even a half-step saint would be seriously injured if they were bitten by it. He felt his scalp go numb when he saw such a person. In the past, he couldn't defeat the Poison King at all. Now, even if his strength had increased greatly, he didn't dare to fight the Poison King easily. Could Lin Xian defeat such an existence? He didn't believe it. Chapter 3075. After all, he had been cultivating outside and had not seen the previous battle. Now he only heard about it from these people. How could he believe it? He knew that these people would exaggerate when they talked about it. Therefore, he would not take this kind of rumor seriously. Damn kid! I didn't expect that in the few months I was away he would swindle people again. Well, when he comes out, I'll teach him a lesson in public during the competition. I'll trample on this kid in front of all the elders and sect members. Hey, Mo snorted coldly and turned to leave. Hey Mo's powerful return not only caused a stir in the full moon peak, but also in the other peaks. After all, his return from the fallen abyss was really eye-catching. As the day of the competition approached, the sky prides of the 4 peaks came out of seclusion, especially the top 3. When they heard that Hey Mo had returned from the fallen abyss, they were very surprised. Hey Mo really doesn't care about his life. In order to improve his strength, he went to such a place. It seems that his strength has increased greatly this time. He's a strong enemy. Many people's eyes flickered, and they clenched their fists. After all, Hey Mo was ranked 9th last time. This time, His strength had increased again. They were afraid that he wanted to reach the top 5. I wonder how Huangfu Beitian is doing? There's also Lin Xian. Huangfu Beitian was ranked 1st in the Full Moon Peak and 5th in the Extraordinary Scholar Mansion. He was very powerful and could not be underestimated. He was very likely to reach the top 3 this time. As for Lin Xian, he was even more amazing. They had seen with their own eyes that he had successfully comprehended the full moon wordless stele. He was a genius that was hard to come by in 10,000 years. However, although he was talented, these sky prides did not take him seriously for the time being. It was not easy to successfully comprehend the full moon wordless stele. Although Lin Xian had the opportunity to comprehend it, it would be impossible for him to succeed without a few hundred years. In just a few months, it would be difficult for his strength to change dramatically. Even if he did, he would not surpass them. However, they were soon stunned, because they learned that when they were in seclusion, the Heavenly Cloud Mansion sent sky prides to challenge them. One of them was called Xian Yun. He was very powerful and defeated the geniuses of the Extraordinary Scholar Mansion. If it were not for Qin Guo and Zhong Linxiu, the Extraordinary Scholar Mansion would not have one. What happened next? The geniuses of the 4 peaks had ugly expressions on their faces. Damn it, these guys actually dared to attack us while we were in seclusion. When the time comes, we'll definitely pay them a visit and get our revenge. In their opinion, this time, their Extraordinary Warriors Mansion had definitely lost their face and returned with a great defeat. However, the result was once again beyond their expectations. From the mouths of the surrounding martial artists, they found out that their outstanding scholar manner didn't lose this time, but instead won. Not only did he get back at Xian Yun in the end, he even made the arrogant Xian Yun apologize and cripple his own arms. What was going on? The geniuses who were in seclusion asked quickly. Soon they heard a name, Lin Xian. At the critical moment, it was Lin Xian who made a forceful move, defeating Xian Yun. Damn it, this brat's strength is actually so strong. These people were surprised, but what was even more shocking was still to come. What did you say? Not only did that brat defeat Xian Yun, he even defeated the Poison King. Which Poison King? Chen Ku from the Heavenly Clouds Mansion? Impossible. Chen Ku's strength was extremely terrifying, especially with the 7-colored centipede in his hands. Ordinary people would not be willing to fight with him at all. Even invincible kings would be killed. He would be injured for half of his life. What? You saw it with your own eyes? I won't believe it even if you beat me to death. Lin Xian can't possibly defeat such a person. Unless I saw it with my own eyes. These geniuses who were in seclusion all shook their heads in disbelief. This news was too shocking, and they couldn't accept it immediately. The North Demon also received this news and frowned. He directly summoned Qin Guo to his side. Sister, what's going on? Are the rumors outside true? Qin Wu immediately told the North Demon everything that had happened a few months ago. After the North Demon heard this, his expression was incomparably solemn. The joy of increasing his strength from his seclusion also vanished. In that case, the Poison King was really defeated by Lin Xian. This Lin Xian even comprehended 2 extremely terrifying powers. The North Demon took a deep breath. He didn't expect that the shocking news outside was actually true. But how was this possible? How could Lin Xian possibly defeat the Poison King? What were those 2 mysterious powers? Could it be that kind of power? The North Demon thought of a possibility, and then his pupils constricted. Impossible, it was impossible for him to comprehend that kind of power so quickly. He was too shocked. He had the 10,000 monster body, and his talent was extremely terrifying, but he still spent more than 100 years to comprehend that kind of power. How could Lin Xian comprehend it in just a few months? However, no matter what, Lin Xian was a peerless enemy. This time, he definitely had the strength to enter the top 5, or even the top 3. Others might not believe it, but the North Demon had to treat it seriously. Descendant of the great dragon, let me see just how strong you really are. The North Demon took a deep breath and waited for the final battle. Yu Linglong and Han Fei also came out of seclusion. When they heard the news, they didn't quite believe it. In their opinion, the rumors were exaggerated. Therefore, they didn't pay too much attention to it. Although Lin Xian was strong, he was still not a match for them. It was still uncertain whether or not he could defeat Huangfu Beitian. After Huangfu Beitian came out of seclusion, he was also shocked when he heard the news. When he heard the news about the Black Demon, he also took a deep breath, and a biting cold light burst out of his eyes. Black Demon? He was courting death. His goal this time was not the Black Demon, but to enter the top 3. He had to enter the top 3. The day of the competition was getting closer and closer. There were only 10 days left, and everyone was making their final preparations. In the mountains, there was a courtyard that took up a lot of space. There were birds chirping and flowers fragrant, and it was like a paradise. The entire courtyard was enveloped by a peerless array formation. Lin Xian sat cross-legged in the array formation. The king herbs, divine crystals, and natural treasures in the spirit gathering array beside him had all dimmed. He had absorbed all the energy in the array formation. Lin Xian had a scroll beside him. Golden light flickered in his eyes, and a terrifying power surged from his body. "Kid, you're awake?" The Crimson Dragon saw Lin Xian stand up and flew over from the other side of the courtyard. Lin Xian stood up and stretched his body. His body made crackling sounds, and his body shone with boundless light that shot into the sky. "What time is it?" he asked. There were still 10 days before the competition. 10 days? It was not too late. Lin Xian nodded. "How's it going outside?" "Those guys outside have all come out of seclusion, and so has the Black Demon. As soon as he came out, he clamored to challenge you. But at that time you were in seclusion, so he kept quiet after 2 days." "The Black Demon?" Lin Xian shook his head slightly. He did not take it seriously. Indeed, he did not take it seriously because no matter what changes the other party had made, he was no longer a match for him. In the past few months, his understanding of Tao had deepened. As for his strength, it was also rapidly increasing. All of this was thanks to the scripture of enlightenment that Zhong Lingxiu gave him. Chapter 3076. This thing might not be of much use in the hands of other invincible kings, because they had not reached that level and could not comprehend it. But to Lin Xian, this was simply a heaven-sent opportunity. Lin Xian needed this kind of enlightenment right now. It could be said that this great Tao enlightenment scripture had saved Lin Xian a few hundred years of detours. Because of this great Tao enlightenment scripture, Lin Xian comprehended something that would have taken hundreds of years to comprehend in a few months. Perhaps even Zhong Lingxiu would not have thought of this. The 2 powers that were close to Tao had increased once again. His understanding and application of these 2 powers had become more thorough. Of course, their power had also increased by several times. If he were to fight with the Poison King again, he could defeat him in 1 move. Because he could make his opponent collapse with just 1 move, annihilation. This was the power that was close to Tao. Not only that, Lin Xian also combined this power with his sword technique, and even combined it with the heavenly secret god Eye and Dragon Sword Soul. The Dragon Sword Soul was magical. Not only could it increase the power of sword chi, but it could also increase the power of all mystiques. The power that was close to Tao was already very strong. If it was combined with the Dragon Sword Soul, its power would be even more terrifying. By using 2 powers that were close to Tao, Lin Xian could reach 70,000 arcane power. Once combined with the Dragon Sword Soul, it would be even more terrifying. This was definitely a terrifying battle strength that had probably surpassed the North Demon. Of course, Lin Xian was just guessing, because he had not seen the North Demon in action. It was just his speculation. Other than the North Demon, Lin Xian did not care about anyone else, let alone the Hei Mo. What would be the reward from the House of Prodigy this time? It would be best if it was related to comprehending the laws of heaven and earth. Now he was more and more delighted with the laws. He felt that this was true power. Only by mastering this power would he be a true expert. He had to comprehend the laws as soon as possible and reach the sage realm. Next, Lin Xian adjusted his state to keep himself in peak condition so that he could deal with the upcoming competition. Finally, the day had arrived. The outstanding scholar manor was in an uproar. Countless elders of the Heaven sect cheered because this was a golden age for them. They were about to witness the rise of a prodigy. This time, the outstanding scholar manor had opened the ancient battle platform, using the grandest scale to hold this competition. The geniuses of the House of Prodigy had arrived early and were waiting anxiously. Those elders also chuckled as they came to the clouds, sat down cross-legged and looked down. He wondered how many amazing fellows would soar to the heavens this time. Did you hear that Junwia had a breakthrough again? That's right. This guy's talent was also terrifying. He was second only to the Northern Demon. The first place of each of the 4 peaks was terrifying. Apart from that, the second and third place of each of the 4 peaks were terrifying too. Apart from Junwia, there was also that monstrous genius who was also an incredible figure. Yes, there was also that black demon. It was said that he went to the fallen abyss and came back successfully. After returning, his strength had increased greatly. It seemed that he would be able to shine this time as well. These elders discussed spiritedly, but 2 of them shook their heads. What I'm looking forward to the most is not these people, but that little fellow called Lin Xian. This little guy was really something. A few months ago, he had defeated the Poison King and displayed a power that was close to the Tao. He wondered what kind of improvement he would get this time. A power that was close to the Tao. 6th Elder, 7th Elder, the 2 of you don't talk nonsense. Although that little kid had started to comprehend the moon-gazing, wordless steel, how long had it been? How could he have comprehended it completely? He probably couldn't even grasp the slightest bit of it. That's right. We might not even be able to control the great Tao of heaven and earth. How could that kid do it? The other elders shook their heads in disbelief. The 7th Elder and the 6th Elder, who were the 2 elders who secretly watched Lin Xian's competition, were so angry that their beards were sticking up. I say, are you guys doubting our words? Why? Could it be that the old man was lying? The 2 elders were extremely agitated. The other elders said they didn't know if he was lying, but it was possible that he was bragging. You said that the kid had a power that was close to the Tao. That was clearly a joke. How dare you doubt me? Do you dare to make a bet with me? These 2 elders are very angry at you. What did they mean? Did they not believe them? Or did they not believe Lin Xian? What a joke! They had seen it with their own eyes. Could it be fake? They didn't see it with their own eyes. I won't believe it. The other elders shook their heads. After all, the matter was too shocking. They didn't dare to believe it at all. The 2 sides gradually quarreled, and at this time the 1st Elder walked over and said in a deep voice, "All right, you guys are already a few thousand years old. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by the people below?" Hearing this, the 6th Elder and the 7th Elder snorted coldly, and the other elders' faces were also ashen. The 1st Elder said with a smile, "We will soon know whether that little guy can comprehend the power that is close to the Tao. Why are you quarreling here? Let me see what that kid is capable of." "I'll bet with you, 6th Elder, 7th Elder. When the 2 of you lose, don't deny it." Many elders sneered. The 2 elders shouted coldly, "Let's bet with poison. Who's afraid of who?" When the 1st Elder saw the elders behind him quarreling again, he shook his head and ignored them. His gaze scanned the surroundings. He wondered to what extent that little fellow's strength had grown to. He had heard about the previous incident, but he didn't see it with his own eyes, so he didn't believe it completely. Below, The ancient arena was emitting an unparalleled light, and there were countless formations around the arena, which were divided into 5 areas. Each area had clouds formed by formations, floating in the clouds for the elders and disciples to observe. The 4 peaks occupied 4 areas, and the last area was reserved for the main hall of the House of Prodigies. Apart from the 4 peaks, there were other elders and experts in the House of Prodigies. They didn't interfere with the matters of the 4 peaks, but were above the 4 peaks, leading the entire House of Prodigies. It was said that even the House of Prodigies would participate in this event. The geniuses participating in the competition were extremely excited. If they were chosen by the House of Prodigies and were accepted as a disciple, they would soar into the sky. Therefore, everyone wanted to perform well. The elders and genius spectators of the 4 peaks had arrived. The geniuses participating in the competition also arrived, a total of 40 people. They were the top 10 of the 4 peaks. Yi Fei, Xueling, and the others from the full moon peak had arrived, each of them emitting a sharp aura. Buzz! A monstrous demonic aura rolled in, turning into a peerless demon king that descended from the sky. A black demonic figure walked out from it. Such a terrifying demonic aura. It's the black demon. His aura was even more terrifying than before. Chapter 3077. This Heimo was incredible. He was able to come out of the abyss. This meant that he had become extremely powerful. Everyone looked down at the demon-like figure and exclaimed in surprise. After Heimo arrived, he glanced at Yi Fei and the others and snorted coldly. Xueling snorted and Yi Fei looked solemn. However, when they sensed Heimo's aura, they sighed helplessly. The difference was too great. Heimo's aura made their hair stand on end. This was only the aura that Heimo had released. If he hadn't used his trump card, they wouldn't have been able to resist him. Heimo was already so terrifying. They wondered how strong Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian had become. Yi Fei, Xueling, and the others were looking forward to it. Look, it's Emotian. Another exclamation was heard. On the horizon, a man in silver armor flew over. He looked extraordinary, and his aura wasn't any weaker than Heimo's. In fact, he was even stronger. Emotian, ranked 2nd in the Divine Strategy Peak. The moment he appeared, the martial artists on the Divine Strategy Peak screamed and cheered. Heimo turned to look at the man in silver armor and snorted coldly. Demonic aura surged from his body, and his eyes were filled with hostility. Emotian also looked at Heimo, but he soon retracted his gaze and looked to the side. After Emotian, a few more figures quickly descended. They were all top prodigies who were participating in the competition. Among them, there was a woman who was very eye-catching. She was dressed in red, and a sea of blood surged around her. She looked like an Azura as she descended from the sky. Her powerful killing intent made the faces of the prodigies turn pale. Who is this beauty? Why does she look so terrifying? Some of the newcomers felt their scalps go numb. Lower your voice. She is Shui Jiyu. She is very violent and will kill you if she doesn't agree with you. Don't let her hear you. She is the 2nd in the exquisite peak, Shui Jiyu. Everyone was shocked. It was said that this woman was very terrifying and cultivated the Tao of slaughter. After Shui Jiyu arrived, she looked at Heimo and Emotian with a smile on her face. The sea of blood around her rumbled and occupied a large area by itself. Damn it, this woman. Heimo's face was gloomy. Although his body was surging with demonic aura, he felt that the blood in his body was being affected by the sea of blood. Emotian frowned as well. He was also affected by the blood sea. With a cold snort, the armor on his body shone even brighter. The 3 of them stood there. Even though they had yet to make a move, their auras were already clashing with one another. The surrounding geniuses retreated hastily, their faces pale. Damn it, these top-notch experts are too terrifying. That's right, we're no match for him. Yi Fei, Xueling, and the others shook their heads and smiled bitterly. Wang. All of a sudden, the starlight in the sky flickered, blocking the terrifying sea of blood. A man descended from the sky. His aura was extraordinary, as if he was a supreme king descending upon the earth. Such a domineering aura. Jun Wuya. It was Jun Wuya, ranked second in the Misty Peak. This man carried with him an unparalleled domineering aura as he forcefully descended, breaking through the sea of blood. Shui Jiyu's eyes erupted with a blood-red light as she stared at this figure. Interesting. I didn't expect your strength to increase so much. I'll have to experience it later. Shui Jianyue spoke, making everyone feel dizzy, as if they couldn't endure the slaughter. However, Jun Wuya wasn't affected at all. He displayed the domineering aura of heaven and earth and stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at the world. The surrounding geniuses on the clouds were all extremely excited. The elders were also excited. These days, the heavenly sects had already started to go against each other. The smell of gunpowder had already filled the air before the battle. When the time comes, the battle would definitely be exciting. Almost everyone was here, except for the top of the 4 peaks. That's right, Lin Xian wasn't here either. Almost everyone else was here. That's right, more than 30 geniuses had already arrived. They gathered together and discussed or stood alone. Their auras were all inspiring. In short, they were all waiting. Wang. At this moment, a saber light streaked across the sky, and a majestic man descended below. Huangfu Beitian was here. Someone cried out in alarm, and everyone turned to look at the source of the cry. The dancers of the full moon peak screamed. Huangfu Beitian was the top of the full moon peak. They wondered how much his strength had increased this time. Was he here? Black Demon snorted. He clenched his fists. Mo Tian and Shui Jiwe also turned their heads. Only Jun Wuya snorted, but he also glanced to the side. The person who had arrived was Huangfu Beitian. He was wearing a long robe and carrying a saber on his back. There was no expression on his face. After he arrived, his gaze swept across the 30 geniuses. Everyone felt their bodies tense as if they had been cut by a saber. In the end, his gaze stopped on one person. That person was Jun Wuya. This guy is arrogant. How dare he ignore me? Shui Jiwa raised her blood-red eyebrows slightly, and a cruel smile appeared on her face. Mo Tian didn't say anything, but he also frowned. Black Demon was trembling with anger. Damn it, he was also ignored. Huangfu Beitian, don't be so arrogant. I'll let you know how powerful I am during the battle later. Black Demon was going crazy. I can feel that your 9-layered thunder saber has improved again, but you're still not my match. Jun Wuya still stood with his hands behind his back. It's useless to argue. Let's fight on the stage later, Huangfu Beitian said coldly. Next, the geniuses didn't say anything and continued to wait patiently. They were waiting for the remaining 3 geniuses. Soon, Han Fei also arrived. Han Fei wore a purple armor and descended from the sky like a deity. As soon as he arrived, he attracted the attention of countless people. This time, even Jun Wuya couldn't remain calm. His eyes were filled with a domineering aura. Shui Jiue, Black Demon, Huangfu Beitian, and the others were the same. The surrounding geniuses were excited and screamed. Han Fei was the first in Divine Tactics Peak and the third in Extraordinary Scholar Manner. Han Fei's arrival caused countless people to scream. His gaze swept over everyone in the surroundings and quickly retracted. He didn't even look at Jun Wuya for too long. Buzz. Between heaven and earth, colorful clouds danced, and a peerless woman descended from the sky. Yu Linglong. The crowd screamed, and many of them had red eyes. She's so beautiful. Everyone says that Qinggu is the first beauty, but I think Yu Linglong is more charming. Lower your voice. How dare you have designs on Yu Linglong? She's second only to the North Demon. Indeed, not only was Yu Linglong beautiful, but she was also extremely powerful. She was the second in extraordinary scholar manner, second only to the North Demon. Yu Linglong's arrival made Han Fei feel like he was facing a great enemy. Yu Linglong was much calmer. She stood there like a fairy, attracting countless gazes. Boom! But not long after, everyone's gaze moved away from her and looked into the distance. That was because someone else had arrived. Chapter 3078. This time it was a tall and slender man with a face as white as a demon's. He was unbelievably handsome. Northern Goblin, everyone exclaimed, and the elders looked solemn. Northern Goblin was the number one in their extraordinary goblin mansion. He had the 1,000 goblin body and was extremely powerful. Suppressing all the heroes, no one was his match. Northern Goblin looked calm as he walked in the air. Beside him was a girl in green. She was unparalleled in this world. She was his younger sister, Qingwu. The two of them were as light as a feather, descending like smoke. "You're here." Yu Linglong opened her red lips and said in a pleasant voice. Han Fei's eyes were like a purple lamp that burned fiercely. Huangfu Beitian, Junwuya, and the others stared at the figure. The person in front of them was like a huge mountain, blocking their path and making them look up at him. Northern Goblin looked at the crowd with a smile and nodded slightly. His gaze did not change. His demeanor showed that he didn't care about anyone else at all. Qingwu, who was beside him, looked around with her big black eyes as if she was looking for someone. That arrogant guy really didn't come. I knew it. There was a cute girl in the crowd. She looked anxious and muttered in a low voice, "Why isn't Big Brother Lin Xian here yet? The competition is about to start. That guy hasn't come yet." Northern Goblin looked around and said indifferently. His words attracted everyone's attention. "Who hasn't come yet?" "The first place of the 4 peaks has already arrived." "No, there's still one person who hasn't arrived. It's Lin Xian. Lin Xian hasn't arrived yet." There was a sudden clap of thunder, and everyone was in an uproar. They looked around carefully, but didn't find Lin Xian's figure. Why hasn't that guy come yet? Could it be that he hasn't come out of seclusion? That guy can't be right. He'll miss the competition if he doesn't come. Huangfu Baitian's eyes flickered, and he did not speak. Shui Yuetian also sneered. This guy is really arrogant. He actually dares to come later than Northern Goblin. Junwuya also snorted coldly. Han Fei did not speak. Yu Linglong said indifferently. She heard that Lin Gongzi fought with the people of Heavenly Cloud's mansion a few months ago, and it was said that he even defeated the Poison King. I wonder how high his strength is? As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people were in an uproar and began to discuss spiritedly. Junwuya and the others sneered. They did not believe in such a legend. Who was the Poison King? They knew very well that Lin Xian couldn't beat him. What a joke! Hei Mo's expression was cold. This reckless brat was really courting death. While everyone was discussing and waiting, a red-robed figure appeared in the sky and quickly walked over. Lin Xian was here. Everyone cried out in surprise, and the elders also turned their heads to look. Lin Xian was dressed in red, and his expression was calm. He walked over. There was no light on his body, nor was there any terrifying aura. He was just like an ordinary handsome boy next door. Beside him, the crimson dragon was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Whoosh! Lin Xian's speed was very fast. Using ground shrink, he arrived at the edge of the stage in a few steps. He fell behind and said with a smile, "I'm not too late, right?" "Damn brat, you finally came out. I thought you didn't dare to come." Demonic chi exploded from Hei Mo's body as he stared at the figure in front of him. Dugu Jian's eyes were also like sabers as he looked over. At this moment, Yu Linglong, Han Fei, Junwuya, Shui Jiwe, and the others all looked over. The North Demon also looked over. Countless geniuses' gazes were all focused on Lin Xian. The elders sucked in a breath of cold air. Being the center of attention of so many peak-level geniuses was a huge amount of pressure. Indeed, just this pressure alone was enough to crush an invincible king. Even a powerful invincible king would have to use all his strength to deal with it. However, what puzzled them was that Lin Xian was still expressionless. There was no aura fluctuation coming from his body. Just like that, he treated it calmly. When all the gazes landed on him, they quickly dissipated without a trace. Everyone was shocked. They didn't dare to believe it. They originally wanted to show Lin Xian who was stronger than them. After all, they were all top geniuses. But Lin Xian had arrived later than the North Demon. He was too arrogant. This made them very unhappy. However, they didn't expect their gazes and pressure to be useless. Deliberately mystifying. Jun Wuya snorted coldly. Yu Linglong frowned. What a mysterious brat. I wonder how strong he is? I can't see through him. Han Fei's eyes flashed with purple light as he frowned. The North Demon kept looking. Lin Xian said with a smile, "What's so special about the moon-gazing, wordless steel? I wonder how much Lin Gongzi has comprehended?" Lin Xian said with a smile, "You will know when the time comes." He wouldn't reveal his trump card in advance. Stop being so cocky. The moon-gazing, wordless steel is so difficult. How can you comprehend it in just a few months? Even if I give you 100 years, you will only be a beginner. You won't be able to comprehend it now. Don't worry. You are definitely not my brother's match. Qing Wu said angrily as she waved her little fists. Is that so? Do you dare to make a bet with me? Lin Xian looked at her and said with a smile. Hearing this, Qing Wu's little face fell. She was very unhappy. Last time, the other party used her as a bet. Although he won in the end, Qing Wu lost many good things. There were several king herbs and mutated divine crystals. Every time Qing Wu thought about it, she would go crazy with anger. Brother, he always bullies me. When I see him later, I will beat him up. She grabbed the North Demon's clothes and said coquettishly, Big brother Lin Xian. In the distance, Xin Jingqiu also ran over and threw herself into Lin Xian's arms. I missed you so much. Aren't I here now? Lin Xian said with a smile. How is your cultivation? How confident are you this time? Don't worry, big brother Lin Xian. Qiu is very confident this time. Everyone was discussing. Above the clouds, the elders took a deep breath because they knew that the competition was about to begin. In the most central area, a group of people walked out. Every one of them was incomparably powerful and carried endless laws. When these people appeared, the wind and clouds changed. The sound of the 8 desolates disappeared, and everyone looked over. Lin Xian also turned his head and took a deep breath. He clenched his fists, and there was a trace of excitement in his eyes. Has the sage come out? These people were the peak masters of the 4 peaks. In addition, there were the top experts of the extraordinary warrior manor, the supreme elders, and even the manor master. These people were the true peerless experts. The manor master of the extraordinary warrior manor was an old man. His face was white and he had a sage-like demeanor. There was a mysterious aura around his body. Even the peak masters of the 4 peaks were standing behind him. One could imagine how terrifying the manor master's strength was. Behind him were the peak masters of the 4 peaks. Each of them had divine chains of laws on their bodies. They were incomparably powerful. Around them were a group of elders. There were men and women, old and young. However, without exception, they were all peerless experts. Chapter 3079. The mansion master's gaze swept across all directions. Everyone felt their hearts tremble as if they had been pierced through. However, that feeling quickly disappeared. An old and loud voice sounded from the front. Since everyone is here, let's begin. Every competition held by the House of Prodigy is to encourage and select geniuses. This time, I hope you will give it your all. If you win, the House of Prodigy will not treat you unfairly. Now let's begin." Following the mansion master's voice, everyone cheered again. The four peak masters looked at each other and flew into the sky. They landed in their respective areas and sat cross-legged on the clouds. The mansion master and the elders also sat in the center of the clouds. At that moment, a middle-aged man walked out. He had a high status and was one of the deputy mansion masters. This time he was the host of the competition. As soon as he came up, he announced some rules and rewards. With different rankings, the rewards were also different. It was roughly divided into 3 levels: top 3, top 10, and after the top 10. The rewards for the top 3 were the best. Other than various treasures and resources, they could go to the saints' former residence to comprehend. Once the news was out, those prodigies were extremely excited. At their level, other than increasing their cultivation, they were basically considering to reach the Saint Realm. To reach the Saint Realm, one must first comprehend the heaven and earth. However, the laws of heaven and earth were not that easy to comprehend. Other than some top prodigies who were qualified to comprehend the divine monument, the others did not have much chance. Moreover, even if they had the chance, it would be difficult for them to comprehend at their current level. But now, if they could go to the saint's former residence to comprehend, it would definitely be beneficial for them to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. Therefore, even Lin Xian was excited after hearing that. The reward for the first place was even more tempting. Other than going to the saint's former residence, one could also go to the Cliff of Enlightenment. The Cliff of Enlightenment was a very magical place. It was said that at least 10 saints had comprehended there before. Most importantly, rumors had it that a martial monarch had stayed there for a day before leaving. Even if a great emperor stayed there for a day, its value was far above the saint's former residence. It could be said that the Cliff of Enlightenment was the true holy land of martial arts. Therefore, when they heard about the reward for the first place, everyone was as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Those elders' eyes were also red. God, the House of Prodigy, even took out the Cliff of Enlightenment as a reward? That was really generous. From the looks of it, they wanted to increase the speed of entering the ancient starry sky path. The elders discussed spiritedly, while the geniuses screamed excitedly. The eyes of the northern beast, Yu Linglong, Han Fei, Jun Wuya, Huangfu Beitian, and the others widened. Shui Jiyu, Mo Tian, Black Demon, and the others were trembling with excitement. Was the Enlightenment Cliff finally going to open? The North Demon's eyes shone with a cold light. He had heard of this place a long time ago, but he never had the chance to go in. He did not expect that this time the Prodigy Manor actually gave out such a reward. This was great. He could finally enter the Cliff of Enlightenment. The North Demon was very confident. In his opinion, although these people were geniuses, none of them could defeat him. In the end, the first place was still his. Yu Linglong and Han Fei's eyes flickered with a cold light. They were already in the 2nd and 3rd year. If they were to try their luck now, they might really be able to get first place. When the time came, he would go to the Enlightenment Cliff to meditate. If he could really comprehend a thing or two, then he would really soar to the heavens. Shui Jiue, Mo Tian, and the others knew that they had no hope of getting first place. However, they were extremely interested in the top 3. Although they could not go to the Enlightenment Cliff, it would be great if they could go to the sage's old residence. Everyone had confirmed their target. Lin Xian's side was also alarmed. The Enlightenment Cliff, the place where the great emperor once stayed? He was too excited. The sage's old residence had already shocked him. After all, he had gained a lot in the past few months. He naturally knew how precious the sage's remains were. He did not expect that there would be a great emperor's remains. This was 10 times or even 100 times more precious than the sage's remains. He must comprehend it. First place? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. North Demon, let me see what you're capable of. The rules of the competition were simple. They would draw lots, and the competition would be divided into several rounds. Not everyone would fight. There would be a certain amount of luck involved. Perhaps some who were not the strongest could still make it to the finals. It seemed a little unfair, but it was the fairest. After all, there were many experts in the world. However, only one person could become the great emperor in the end. Other than talent, luck was also very important. In fact, possession was also an important factor. Back then, there was a person who shocked the ancients and dazzled the contemporaries. He was extremely powerful and had reached an unbelievable level. He was most likely to become the great emperor. However, he was born at the wrong time. When he rose, it was when the great emperor had lost 3,000 years. At that time, he could not prove his Tao. In the end, the person who shocked the ancients and dazzled the contemporaries did not become the great emperor. Therefore, luck was also a part of strength, a very important part. The 40 geniuses participating in the competition quickly drew their lots. Those who drew the same number would become opponents and fight in the arena. "I'm number 1. Qing Wu exclaimed. "What? Qing Wu is number 1. Could it be that she's going to fight?" Hearing this, the surrounding elders of the heavenly sect began to discuss. Those young men seemed to have been injected with chicken blood. Was Qing Wu going to take action? "She's my goddess. Goddess Qing Wu, you must win. You must make it to the finals. That's for sure. Goddess Qing Wu is the great beauty of our House of Wonders. Moreover, her brother is the North Demon. Qing Wu is very talented and has the power of bloodline. Her strength is definitely not bad. Moreover, no matter who she encounters in the first round, she has to give face to the North Demon. Don't worry. Qing Wu will definitely have no problems in this round." Everyone had the same thought. At the same time, they were very curious about who would be the first person to fight Qing Wu. Qing Wu's small face was excited. Her beautiful big eyes were shining. She could not wait any longer. She went directly to the arena. "Hurry up, my opponent, come on." Everyone lowered their heads. Those who were ranked at the bottom prayed in their hearts that they would not fight Qing Wu. That was because Qing Wu would definitely win this round. Fortunately, the number in their hands was not number 1. Huangfu Beitian, Hei Mo, Junwia, and the others also looked and found that they were not number 1 either. Just as everyone was checking, a figure walked past them and walked towards the battle platform. This scene directly attracted the attention of the others. Countless eyes looked at the figure. "What? It's him!" Many people screamed. Chapter 3080. Hei Mo snorted and sneered. Shui Ji narrowed her eyes. "Interesting. This is going to be fun. Damn you, why is it you? No, this draw doesn't count. We have to do it again." On the stage, Qing Wu was originally very happy. However, when she saw her opponent, her little face fell and she was about to cry. "Heavens, why is it him? Is my luck that bad? Lin Xian, you bastard. Hurry up and get back to where you came from." Qing Wu stomped her feet in anger. That's right. Her first opponent was Lin Xian. To be honest, Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect that he would have to fight with this little girl in the first round. He shook his head and didn't care. Instead, he walked onto the stage. The others were excited. "It's Lin Xian. The first round is actually him. This is going to be fun. Do you think Lin Xian will go easy on him in the first round? Give the North Demon some face?" When the time came for him to fight the North Demon might go easy on him. It's possible. Not only Lin Xian. Almost everyone had to give the North Demon some face. After all, he was the number 1 in the House of Prodigy. Who would dare to disobey? However, Qing Wu didn't think so, because she felt that this guy would definitely not give her face. She knew Lin Xian very well. Sure enough, Lin Xian said, "I don't want to hurt you. Why don't you take the initiative to admit defeat?" When those words were said, everyone was in an uproar. The corners of the elders' mouths twitched. Oh my heavens, what did I just hear? Lin Xian actually wants Qing Wu to admit defeat. He doesn't plan to give the North Demon some face. He's going to cause trouble. Is he provoking the North Demon? Exclamations sounded one after another. The people of the Full Moon Peak were extremely nervous. When Yu Linglong saw this scene, she glanced at the North Demon and laughed softly. Looks like someone doesn't want to give you face. What's this kid doing? He's courting death. Emo Tian also frowned. The North Demon was incomparably calm. All of this was within his expectations. Lin Xian was no ordinary prodigy. He was a top prodigy who had comprehended the Moongazer steel and was the successor of the Great Dragon. Such peerless geniuses all had their own pride. How could they take the initiative to go easy on him? However, he was not worried. He was still very confident in his sister. It would not be easy for Lin Xian to win against his sister. You brat, you're so arrogant. You want me to admit defeat? No way. In the arena, Qing Wuqi's face was ice cold. This despicable fellow. She really wanted to go up and bite him. You are no match for me. Lin Xian shook his head. It was indeed so. A few months ago, he could easily defeat Qing Wu. Not to mention now, his strength had greatly improved. Qing Wu shouted, "Boy, don't underestimate me. My current strength is much stronger than it was a few months ago. Today, I'll let you experience it." 1. Qing Wu's temperament also changed. 2 lightning-like rays of light shot out from her beautiful eyes, shattering the surrounding sky. The aura on her body became terrifying. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They knew that this beautiful girl was not simple. She was a true prodigy. Whoosh! Qing Wu's figure changed, and her speed was unbelievably fast. She quickly rushed toward Lin Xian. A short sword appeared in her hand. It was as red as blood, and she slashed down in the air. A bloody light burst out, bringing with it a powerful aura, shattering the void. In an instant, thousands of sword lights were slashed out. They were densely packed, forming a sea of sword qi. However, Qing Wu's little face was incomparably cold. She did not relax at all. That was because Lin Xian's speed was even faster. His figure wandered in the sky, full of sword qi, as if he was taking a stroll. Not a single sword qi hit him. Damn guy, what's the point of dodging? Attack if you have the ability. Qing Wu snorted, and the aura in her hand became even sharper. Lin Xian sighed. All right, then I won't be polite. Speaking of this, the aura on his body also changed. The originally fluctuating void was even more shattered. He was like a celestial demon. His eyes emitted a piercing light, and runes appeared in his hand one after another. Seal! With a low shout, Lin Xian waved his arm. The runes in the sky intertwined to form a formation, and directly shrouded Qing Wu. Buzz! Qing Wu was fixed in midair. She could not exert any strength, as if she was frozen. Damn guy, what did you do to me? Qing Wu screamed. Lin Xian did not say a word. With a smile, he walked forward. Then he gently picked up Qing Wu and walked to a place further away. This scene made everyone exclaim. Many prodigies even screamed. Damn guy, let go of Qing Wu. Let go of our goddess. How dare you blaspheme our goddess? I'll fight you to the death. There was no choice. Qing Wu was the goddess in the hearts of these prodigies. She was the lover of their dreams. But she was carried away by someone. How could they tolerate this? Even Mo Tian and the rest frowned. Jun Wuya even shouted coldly. His eyes emitted a piercing light. You're courting death. He was also pursuing Qing Wu, but he had not succeeded. However, Jun Wuya thought that in the entire extraordinary warrior mansion, except for Northern Yao, he did not care about anyone else. Northern Yao was Qing Wu's brother, so he would not compete with him. In other words, Qing Wu would choose him if she had a choice. But now, Qing Wu was being carried by another man. Jun Wuya could not tolerate this. Even Northern Yao frowned, slightly with a look of surprise. Then he shook his head. He already knew what Lin Xian wanted to do. However, he was surprised. Did Qing Wu have no strength to resist? Qing Wu naturally knew this. She screamed, "Damn guy, let go of me. I want to fight you to the death." "It's useless. You can't beat me. Seeing that we fought side by side against the Heavenly Clouds mansion a few months ago, I won't hurt you," Lin Xian said as he walked toward the arena. He wanted to throw Qing Wu out of the arena. This way, he could win the competition without hurting Qing Wu. Qing Wu was naturally unwilling. She did not get along with Lin Xian. Now that she was being carried by him, she wanted to die. As a proud princess, when had she ever been close to other men? Not to mention being carried in public. "Break!" Qing Wu shouted coldly. She used her bloodline power and broke the seal with a powerful force. However, she found that she could not use her bloodline power at all. She could only watch helplessly. Not long after, Lin Xian came to the edge of the arena and gently put Qing Wu down. Then he turned his head to look at the referee elder in the sky and asked in a deep voice, "Elder, can you announce the result?" The referee elder in the sky was also stunned. To be honest, he had lived for so many years, but he had never seen such a competition. However, as an old monster who had lived for thousands of years, he quickly recovered and said loudly, "The winner of the first round is Lin Xian of the Full Moon Peak." Chapter 3081. Lin Xian won the first round and got off to a good start. Logically speaking, the people of Full Moon Peak should be excited. However, those geniuses of Full Moon Peak had very strange expressions. Many of their faces even darkened. Although Lin Xian is our Full Moon Peak's genius, why do I want to beat him up so much? Me too. How dare he treat my goddess Qinggu like this? I won't let him off. If Full Moon Peak was like this, the other peaks were even more so. Especially the people of Ethereal Peak. They were about to go crazy. Murderous aura soared into the sky. Countless gazes turned into rainbows, staring at Lin Xian. "Damn kid, I'll kill you. I'll definitely kill you. Fight me if you have the ability." Countless roars turned into thunder, shattering the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Lin Xian didn't care at all because these people weren't his match. They didn't even have the qualifications to enter the arena. However, in the next moment he frowned. He noticed that there were a few cold gazes in the surrounding crowd. One of them was even more terrifying, as if it had turned into the domineering aura of heaven and earth, surging towards him. Lin Xian felt this domineering aura and turned his head. Their gazes collided in the air. "Jun Wuya." He frowned slightly. Although he hadn't seen him before, he had heard of him before. Jun Wuya cultivated the domineering aura of heaven and earth and walked the path of an earth sovereign. This guy should be a prince of the divine wind empire. He also knew a little about Jun Wuya's origin. Of course, Jun Wuya wasn't a prince of this generation. Otherwise, Lin Xian would have known him long ago. He should be a prince from a few hundred years ago. "Kid, I won't let you off. You'd better pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise, I'll make you regret everything you've done today." Jun Wuya's voice was cold, as if he was the king of the mortal world, able to judge everything. Lin Xian shrugged indifferently. He was ready to learn. After saying this, he walked down the arena. Yi Fei, Xueling, and the rest looked at Lin Xian with strange gazes. Only Shun Jingqiu smiled and said, "Brother Lin Xian is so gentle." Gentle? Everyone was dumbfounded by Shun Jingqiu's words. The first match ended just like that. But soon, the second and third matches began one after another. Everyone stepped onto the stage and displayed their formidable strength. Lin Xian was also watching from the side. It had to be said that these few months of hard work had allowed the strength of these geniuses to improve by leaps and bounds. Many of them had become even stronger than before. The northern goblin went up. Amidst a series of exclamations, the northern goblin walked forward. His opponent, however, had a gloomy look on his face. He was a genius from the Divine Strategy Peak and was ranked 5th on the Divine Strategy Peak. However, he was no match for the North Demon. Therefore, when he stepped into the arena, he shook his head and said, "I admit defeat." The speed at which this match ended was even faster than Lin Xian and Qing Wu. Did he admit defeat? Everyone looked as if they already knew. After all, apart from Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and a few others who could contend against the North Demon, the others were simply no match for him. Admitting defeat was a very normal thing. Han Fei shook his head. His opponent was too weak. He couldn't tell how strong the Northern Demon was. Perhaps only the top 5 geniuses could make the Northern Demon take them seriously. Yu Linglong, who was standing at the side, also sighed. Soon, they all stepped onto the stage. Yu Linglong and Han Fei were also incomparably powerful. They killed their opponents in one move. Jun Wuya and Huang Fu Beitian also killed their opponents in one move. This caused everyone to exclaim in surprise. As expected of the top 5 geniuses, they were simply too powerful. The top 3 would most likely emerge from these 5 geniuses. Boom! 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 On the arena, a demon-like person walked up. His demonic aura was monstrous and enveloped the entire area. It was the Black Demon. His opponent was also extremely extraordinary. He was the 3rd-ranked genius of the Divine Strategy Peak, Cui Shi. When the two of them entered the arena, countless people exclaimed in surprise. Both of them were super experts. It would definitely be a fierce battle for them to meet in advance. Everyone became excited. However, the outcome of the battle was beyond everyone's expectations. 10 moves, only 10 moves. The Black Demon defeated Cui Shi in just 10 moves. Everyone was shocked. The elders were also surprised. This Black Demon was incredible. His strength had increased so quickly. That's right. Last time, Cui Shi's ranking was similar to his. Even if the two of them were to fight, it would take a few hundred moves. Who would have thought that the Black Demon would win in just 10 moves? This guy must have encountered an incredible fortuitous encounter when he fell into the abyss. What an interesting guy. No wonder he was so arrogant. Shui Jiwa sneered. Mo Tian's expression was solemn. On the other side, a girl named Chu Ling's eyes flickered. She was the 3rd-ranked genius of the Ethereal Peak. The 3 of them felt the threat from the Black Demon. Han Fei, Jun Wuya, Yu Linglong, and the rest did not care. Although the Black Demon was strong, they did not put him in their eyes. After defeating his opponent, the Black Demon stopped Lin Xian and Huang Fu Beitian, who were below the arena. He sneered, "Brat, just you wait. I will let you know how powerful I am. This time, I will trample you under my feet. You are no match for me." Lin Xian shook his head slightly. He did not care. This scene made the Black Demon vomit blood. "Don't be so arrogant. I will let you know how powerful I am." He walked down the arena with a cold face. After that, Shui Jiwa Mo Tian and the rest also displayed their powerful strength. They were not weaker than the Black Demon. Among them, there were 2 people who surprised everyone. Just like Lin Xian, the 2 of them were newcomers, and both of them were peerless beauties. One of them was Xin Jingqiu. Xin Jingqiu was now at Linglong Peak. She had also participated in this competition. Her strength had increased very quickly. The purple aura around her body was very hazy and mysterious. She defeated her opponent, causing countless people to exclaim in surprise. The elders were also surprised. If I remember correctly, this little girl should be a spiritual body, right? Not bad. No wonder her strength increased so quickly. She has reached the peak, right? The Grand Elder was also surprised. When everyone sensed Shen Jingqiu's cultivation, they were all stunned. 9-star peak. This level of cultivation was simply too shocking. One had to know that the North Demon, Han Fei, and the others were only at the peak of the 9-star peak. They were still a distance away from the peak. However, Shen Jingqiu had reached the peak of the 9-star peak. Moreover, she was so young. Lin Xian was also surprised. He had not checked it before. Now that he saw it, he was extremely surprised. He was only at the mid-stage of the 9-star peak, but Shen Jingqiu's cultivation had far surpassed his. Beside him, the Crimson Dragon said, "Brat, don't be surprised. The characteristic of a spiritual body is that it cultivates quickly." Previously, this little girl's cultivation had always been ahead of the other prodigies. It could be said that she was the first batch to become a 9-star king. Now that she has reached the peak of the 9-star peak, it is very normal. The others were amazed and envious. Although cultivation was not the final factor that determined a person's strength, it was the most important factor. The higher one's cultivation was, the more powerful one would be. Chapter 3082. Of course, that might not be the case. After all, secret techniques, divine abilities, bloodlines, fortuitous encounters, cultivation techniques, weapons, and so on could all affect one's final combat strength. Otherwise, Lin Xian and the others wouldn't have been able to kill a 9-star king when they were only 8-star kings. Therefore, although Shen Jingqiu was now a perfected 9-star king, she was still no match for the North Demon. However, that might not be the case in the future. If Shen Jingqiu broke through to half-saint or saint in advance, she would be able to crush these prodigies with the suppression of her cultivation realm. At the thought of this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. They didn't expect Shen Jingqiu to have such terrifying potential. The eyes of the 4 peak masters flickered. The supreme elders were also discussing in low voices. Even the mansion master was a little interested. It was indeed a golden age. The divine 9-yang body, myriad demon body, and spirit body had all appeared. They wondered if this little girl would be able to meet someone from the spirit tribe in the future. If she could, her achievements would be limitless. Perhaps she could obtain that item. At this point, the old mansion master's eyes flashed with an illusory star. Apart from Shen Jingqiu, there was another young woman who attracted everyone's attention. Even Lin Xian was paying close attention. The woman in the arena was called Zhong Lingxiu. She was a newcomer of the Moon Gaze Peak. Zhong Lingxiu was dressed in plain clothes. Beside her was a green lotus that swayed gently. The violent power made her opponent vomit blood. This woman was so mysterious. They couldn't see through her. Han Fei frowned. Yu Linglong also nodded. Interesting. It was getting more and more interesting. The North Demon's eyes were also solemn, as if he wanted to see through everything. The elders were also surprised. Could the green lotus be related to that item? They thought of a possibility, but they soon shook their heads. The 4 peak masters were also shocked. The Moon Gaze Peak Master was especially happy. He didn't expect there to be such a prodigy apart from Lin Xian. In the past, Zhong Lingxiu was only ranked 10th. Although she was stunning, Lin Xian was ahead of her. Moreover, she didn't have the chance to comprehend the Moon Gaze wordless steel. Therefore, although everyone was shocked, they soon forgot about it. But now, Zhong Lingxiu had once again displayed her powerful strength, directly attracting everyone's attention. Mansion Master, is the green lotus related to that item? Related to that person? A Grand Elder asked from the side. The Mansion Lord's eyes flickered, and he shook his head slightly. That didn't seem to be the case. However, he remembered that it was something else. If that was the case, then the ancient path of the starry sky would be really interesting. At that time, it would definitely be very exciting. Hearing the Valley Master's words, the surrounding Grand Elders were all astonished. What could be praised by the Valley Master like this? Could it be even more terrifying than the dragon sword soul? The spiritual body, the holy body, and the infinite demon body? One had to know that these physiques were all famous, peerless physiques in the ancient times. Once they were mastered, they could sweep through the world and shock the world. If it really was her, then she would definitely pose a threat to Lin Xian, the North Demon, and the others. Perhaps in the future, he would be able to suppress Lin Xian, the Northern Demon, and the others. Even the top experts and geniuses on the ancient path of stars who had passed many trials would have a headache, let alone these young fellows. In fact, they might even be overtaken by the geniuses. The Mansion Lord's words shocked everyone. Many of the Grand Elders could not believe that Zhong Lingxiu had such potential. The intense battles made everyone's blood boil. Lin Xian fought a few times and entered the finals. Shen Jingqiu, Zhong Lingxiu, He Mo, and the others also entered the finals. The top geniuses of the Four Peaks also entered the finals. After that, everyone became even more excited. Although the first few rounds were exciting, the top geniuses like the North Demon and Yu Linglong did not use their full strength at all. They usually defeated their opponents with a single move. It was not enough for them to watch. In the finals, the top geniuses would also fight. At that time, it would be a truly exciting battle. The finals were still drawn. Lin Xian still drew lot number 1. First up, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and came to the arena. I wonder who my opponent is. Kid, I didn't expect it to be you. The heavens are really helping me. How dare you bully Qingwu? I'll teach you a good lesson later. A majestic voice sounded. Then a domineering figure walked up. Jun Wuya. The first battle was between Lin Xian and Jun Wuya. The surrounding people screamed like crazy. Even many of the Grand Elders stood up, their faces filled with excitement. Although they knew that the finals would be exciting, they did not expect it to be so intense. Right off the bat, the two top geniuses were exchanging blows with one another. Lin Xian, second place of the moon-gazing peak, comprehended the moon-gazing, wordless steel. He was a once-in-10,000 years genius. Jun Wuya was equally terrifying. He was ranked 4th in the House of Prodigy. He was ranked higher than Huangfu Beitian. His domineering aura was terrifying. Recently, it was said that he had a new breakthrough while comprehending the ethereal steel. They were the top geniuses. Everyone was looking forward to the battle between the two geniuses. Even the peak masters of the Four Peaks and the supreme elders were looking forward to it. Were they going to fight in advance? They wanted to see what this kid was capable of. The North Demon's eyes flashed. Previously, he was also a little angry about Qingwu's matter. However, compared to anger, he was more shocked. He knew Qingwu's strength very well. However, he found it unbelievable that Lin Xian could seal Qingwu so easily. In the previous rounds, Lin Xian defeated his opponents easily. He did not show his true strength, so the Northern Demon could not see it clearly. However, now that he was fighting Jun Wuya, he should be able to see his full strength. Let me see just how much strength you, the descendant of the great dragon, have. The Northern Demon was looking forward to it. Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and the others were also watching with rapt attention. What? You want to stand up for Qingwu? Let's see if you have the ability. Lin Xian was not afraid. He knew that his opponent was ranked 4th and was very strong. So what? He was not afraid of him. Good kid, you are arrogant enough. Try taking my fist. Jun Wuya shouted angrily and waved his fist. His body surged with a domineering aura. Sky Tyrant Fist. It seemed that Jun Wuya was really angry. He immediately used the Sky Tyrant Fist. This was a half-step Saint martial art. Its strength was terrifying. Indeed, the moment the Sky Tyrant Fist appeared, lightning fell between heaven and earth. Everyone's body trembled. Fortunately, at that moment, they were inside the formation and watching from the clouds. Otherwise, just the aftermath of the energy would be enough to injure them. Sky Tyrant Fist? Half-step Saint martial art. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He waved his hand, and the fire qilin sword appeared in the sky. He held it and slashed it down. Chapter 3083. Between heaven and earth, a sword light flashed, splitting apart all the lightning and destroying the terrifying fist. The domineering aura was strong, but it wasn't powerful enough. Lin Xian commented indifferently. How arrogant! How can you understand my fist technique? Sky Tyrant Fist's second move. Jun Wuya's face sank as he attacked again. One had to admit that Jun Wuya was extremely terrifying. His strength had already reached the late-stage 9-star king realm. Coupled with his half-saint martial arts, it was terrifying to the extreme. In the entire extraordinary warrior manor, there were probably only a few people who could defeat him. The monstrous power engulfed Lin Xian. Countless people exclaimed. The martial artists of the Full Moon Peak were extremely nervous. Jun Wuya was indeed extraordinary. He had reached such a level with the Sky Tyrant Fist. That's right, this domineering aura could make one's soul tremble before the battle even started. Without exchanging blows, his aura had already overwhelmed the enemy. Although Lin Xian had destroyed the first move of the Sky Tyrant Fist, the second move and the next few moves would be difficult to deal with. Not necessarily. This kid's strength was pretty good. He must have a trump card. Everyone was discussing. In front of them, among the energy in the sky, a golden light flashed and turned into a golden thunderbolt, destroying heaven and earth. Puff! 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 Sword Qi formed a golden lotus that bloomed in the sky, breaking the energy in the sky. I've said it before. It's not powerful enough. Lin Xian pointed his sword forward. With a swing of his sword, the sword lotus in the sky quickly expanded and turned into a huge mountain that shrouded the ground. Thousands of sword Qi smashed down, piercing through the void and forming a sword rain that completely enveloped Jun Wuya. Get lost! Jun Wuya opened the sky with both hands like a peerless overlord, wanting to tear the sword lotus in the sky apart. Boom! 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 His palm was like the palm of a god. In an instant, he grabbed the terrifying sword lotus and pulled it with force. The sword lotus shook violently, but the sword Qi that fell down was even more terrifying. Clang! 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 The sword Qi in the sky crashed down. Jun Wuya's domineering aura formed a battle armor that enveloped him. The sword Qi collided with the battle armor, creating a shocking sound. It's useless. You can't break my domineering aura. Jun Wuya was very confident, but soon he frowned, and his expression turned ugly. The sword lotus had completely bloomed, and the power of the sword Qi had increased exponentially. Cracks had appeared on his domineering battle armor, and it had shattered with a loud bang. Whoosh! In the face of such a terrifying sword Qi, Jun Wuya took half a step back and tilted his body, wanting to dodge. However, this sword strike had still managed to cut off a strand of his black hair. In fact, there was even a sword scar on his face. Jun Wuya was injured. Countless people screamed in disbelief. Jun Wuya's body was trembling, and his eyes were burning with rage. How dare you injure me? You have committed a heinous crime. I will let you know my true strength. With a shout, Jun Wuya's aura became terrifying. Sovereign's descent. Surrender. The divine light in his eyes shone brightly, enveloping the entire world. His voice was loud and clear, like the roar of a gigantic spirit god. All the geniuses in the surroundings trembled. Even the faces of the elders changed. Then, a terrifying light gushed out from their bodies. As for those geniuses, they shrieked, "Damn it! Why can't I resist the urge to kneel down and kowtow to him? Even my soul is trembling. What kind of cultivation technique is this? Why is it so strange?" The expressions of the people around the arena changed drastically. Their bodies trembled, and they couldn't help but want to kneel down and kowtow. Many people bit the tip of their tongues and frantically retreated. Even Yu Linglong and Han Fei were shocked. The only one who could still be considered calm was the Northern Devil. As expected, this kid had made new progress in comprehending the Great Tao. The Northern Devil smiled. He's already using this power at this time. It seems that Jun Wuya wants to end the battle. Yu Linglong and Han Fei's eyes flickered, and their expressions were solemn. When the others heard this, their expressions changed drastically. The path of dominance, that was Jun Wuya's trump card. If he used it so quickly, would Lin Xian be able to resist it? There were 3,000 great Daos and countless laws. The path of dominance was one of them. Once the path of dominance was used, it was like a supreme king. Everyone would bow down to him. They wouldn't dare to resist. Although Jun Wuya hadn't truly comprehended the Great Tao, his power far exceeded the power of ordinary runes. Therefore, at this moment, under his power, these geniuses all trembled. Lin Xian was the first to be affected. He felt a force pressing down on him, wanting to make him submit to the person in front of him. That force was too powerful. It was like a god's hand pressing down on his body. Is this the power that's close to the Tao? Lin Xian's eyes shone with golden light. He also had this kind of power, but he had never felt it before. Now that he felt the other party's domineering power, he was incomparably excited. Submit! Another cold shout. Countless people's souls trembled and their eyelids twitched. Lin Xian's side was also under greater pressure. The power that was close to the Tao was too mysterious and too powerful. Jiao Yang's body emitted millions of rays of light, but he also trembled slightly. This wasn't a direct attack, but a different kind of submission. It was a supreme will that directly affected the soul. It's over. Lin Xian is in danger. Yes, this was a power that was close to the Tao. In the entire elite scholar manor, there were no more than 5 young people who had this kind of power. Jun Wuya was one of them. Under this kind of power that was close to the Tao, no one could resist, unless Lin Xian also displayed that kind of power. Impossible. Although Jun Wuya was a young genius, he was also a few hundred years old. He had been comprehending the ethereal heavenly steel for a long time, and only then did he comprehend that trace of domineering Tao and obtain this kind of power that was close to the Tao. Although Lin Xian had also comprehended the full moon wordless steel, it had only been a few months. It was impossible for him to succeed. Yes, I heard that he used a power that was close to the Tao to defeat the Poison King, but I didn't believe it at all. Everyone was discussing intensely, and the elders were also nervous. On the full moon peak's side, the great elder's eyes flickered. If you have a power that's close to the Tao, hurry up and use it, he urged in his heart. On the stage, Jun Wuya's divine light shone brightly. He stood with his hands behind his back, like a supreme king overlooking everything. Lin Xian's body emitted golden light, like a sun war god, but he trembled slightly, as if he would be defeated at any time. This scene caused countless people to be shocked. However, suddenly Lin Xian's gaze changed. It became sharper and more determined. A loud voice sounded from his mouth. I, Lin Xian, will not bow to the heavens, nor kneel to the earth. I will only respect myself. Accompanying this voice, the dragon roared in his body. His eyes shone brightly, and his body stopped trembling. Rays of sword qi rushed out from his body, turning into a giant dragon that rushed to the 9 heavens. Boom! 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 Heaven and earth were torn apart, and the wind whistled. Everyone exclaimed, and the elders also stood up, shocked. He actually blocked it. Chapter 3084. Impossible! How can he block such a power that's close to the Tao? He didn't submit. These people were all stunned, especially the elders of the ethereal peak. They looked as if they had seen a ghost. Almost no one is a match for a power that's close to the Tao. How did that kid block it? No matter how powerful his sword technique is, it's impossible. Is that the power of the dragon sword soul? Junwia was also stunned. His expression became extremely ugly, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. That kid didn't kneel down and submit to me is really beyond my expectations. Dragon sword soul? He gritted his teeth and snorted. Although the dragon sword soul was powerful, it was still inferior to the power that was close to the Tao. Only the Tao is eternal between heaven and earth. If the ruler wants the subject to die, the subject must die. Junwia shouted again. Boom! Countless runes rolled on his body, and his domineering aura covered the entire world. For a moment, everyone trembled again. Many people screamed, "Damn it, what's going on? Why do I want to draw my sword and kill myself? Block it!" Clang! Some people couldn't help but draw their weapons. In the next moment, they threw away their weapons in horror and retreated crazily. Seeing this scene, the elders once again set up the array formation and completely enveloped the disciples who didn't participate in the battle. Between heaven and earth, only Lin Xian and Junwia were not enveloped by the array formation. It's too terrifying. How can this be? Wang Ji's body trembled. He looked at the long sword on the ground with a face full of horror. At that moment, he had drawn his sword and wanted to stab his own heart. The power of the Tao, that's the power of the Tao. There was also a flying dagger at Yi Fei's fingertips, and it was very close to his neck. Moreover, he was swept by the aftermath of the power. One could imagine how terrifying the impact would be for Lin Xian, since he was the first to bear the brunt of it. That was the power that was close to the Tao. It was extremely terrifying. Everyone was terrified and envious. If the power that was close to the Tao was already so terrifying, how powerful would the laws of the Great Path be? If the saints wanted to kill them, they could turn countless invincible kings into ashes with a single sentence. Everyone below the saints were ants. Junwia wasn't a saint, not even a half-saint. However, he had grasped a power that was close to the Tao. He was completely superior to those invincible kings. Buzz! Under this force, Lin Xian's hands trembled slightly. He raised the blazing Qilin sword in his hand, wanting to stab himself. Lin Xian's powers, and his eyes shone brightly, can affect me? It's a power that's close to the Tao. Lin Xian took a deep breath. The great dragon sword soul within his body roared wildly as a surge of power surged into his hand. Instantly, his hand stopped trembling and became as steady as a rock. His hand was steady. T can't be. Everyone, Jun can't believe it. Damn it, how did he do it? Black Demon's eyes widened, and his face was filled with shock. He knew that he was no match for Junwia. However, Lin Xian blocked it, and it looked like it was effortless. He couldn't believe it. Huangfu Beitian was shocked as well. Even Yu Linglong and Han Fei's eyes were wide open. The North monster's eyes flickered. Looks like he's comprehended a power that's close to the Tao. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to block Junwia's attack. This guy is indeed an opponent worth looking forward to. Buzz! Lin Xian stabilized his hand and slashed with his sword. A huge crack appeared in the sky, spreading rapidly as it charged forward. Junwuya's pupils shrank. His figure flashed, and he dodged the sword. Damn it, you're not affected. How is that possible? Junwia was the most shocked. Did his domineering Tao lose its effect? That was impossible. Previously, when he faced the peak invincible kings, he used his domineering Tao. Those invincible kings had to kneel before him and commit suicide. No one could resist him. But now, both of his attacks were ineffective. Who could tell him? What's going on? Lin Xian's expression was cold. A power that's close to the Tao? That's powerful. However, that's all there is to your domineering Tao. Next, I'll show you my power that's close to the Tao. What did he say? He has a power that's close to the Tao? That's impossible. The crowd screamed crazily. The elders trembled. Could it be that this kid has really comprehended a power that's close to the Tao? It's only been a few months. Is he going to defy the heavens? The crowd went crazy. At that moment, even the peak masters and grand elders' expressions changed. Their eyes flickered as they stared at Lin Xian. They wanted to see if Lin Xian was putting on an act, or did he really have such power. On the stage, Junwia was stunned. Then he burst into laughter. "Kid, what did you say? You have a power that's close to the Tao? What a joke!" His face was full of disdain, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. He admitted that the other party was able to get the recognition of the Moongazer steel. His talent was heaven-defying. But so what? It's only been a few months since he got the Moongazer steel. What can he do in these few months? As for me, I've been in extraordinary scholar manner for more than 100 years. Since 100 years ago, I began to comprehend the ethereal steel. It was only in the recent 10 years that I succeeded in comprehending a trace of power, obtaining a power that's close to the Tao. Just like that, I'm already a peerless genius, ranked fourth in the entire extraordinary scholar manner. How can a newcomer compete with me? I don't believe that he has such power. You don't believe it? Don't worry, I'll let you see it. Lin Xian raised his finger and pointed forward. Annihilation. Is he going to make a move? Everyone was nervous. The elders were also watching nervously. Junwia was stunned. He was on high alert. Lin Xian had the sword qi of the great dragon sword spirit. It was terrifying. He was afraid that the other party would use some sharp sword technique. Hence, he was prepared. But in the next moment, he was stunned. There was no terrifying sword qi rushing out from the other party. What's going on? Is it a bluff? Kid, you're really funny. Do you think that I, Junwia, am scared? Junwia snorted in disdain. He took a step forward and was about to attack. He didn't believe that the other party could grasp such power. Buzz! Suddenly, his entire right arm turned into ashes and no longer existed. Ah! Junwia let out a blood-curdling scream as he spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backwards. His right arm quickly disappeared, vanishing into thin air. How is this possible? Junwia was dumbfounded. He half knelt on the ground and covered his wound. Not only him, but everyone else was also stunned. Chapter 3085. Heavens, what happened? Who can explain it? Those geniuses widened their eyes as if they had seen a ghost. Those elders were also trembling. The great elder stood up. The peak master sucked in a breath of cold air, and even the mansion master's eyes were shining brightly, illuminating the entire world. A power that was close to the Tao. Damn it, how could this kid have such power? Impossible, he had only comprehended it for a few months. Could it be that he was already so heaven-defying? Is this kid still human? These people were all crazy. The black demon's body trembled and his face twisted. He roared crazily. Damn it! How could he have comprehended it? I don't believe it. How could he have comprehended a power that was close to the Tao? Huangfu Beitian was also stunned. Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and the others screamed. The North Demon's eyes flickered. It appeared this power really appeared. He had mastered this power, and it seemed to be a very domineering and destructive power. Lin Xian's move shocked everyone in the Mansion Master. Countless people were terrified. On the arena, Junwia also came back to his senses. He screamed crazily. I don't believe it. How did you comprehend it? He had gone crazy. It took him 100 years to comprehend it, but the other party comprehended it in a few months? How could the gap be so big? He had never heard of it before. Even Yi Gu Cheng wasn't so terrifying back then. Seeing Junwia roaring crazily and no longer having the domineering aura of a king, Lin Xian sneered. Don't use your ant-like vision to understand me. I'm not in existence that you can understand. As he spoke, he waved the long sword in his hand again and swept it out. Annihilation of the sword. The blade drew an arc, and an incomparably terrifying power was used. Everywhere it passed, everything turned into ashes. Nothing could resist it. This was a power that was close to the Tao, a power that Lin Xian had comprehended. Jun Wuya's body swayed, and he threw out a few sky tyrant fists, but they all turned into ashes. At the next moment, he came to the other side. The king's order disappear. Now, Jun Wuya had no choice but to use his domineering Tao to resist. This domineering Tao was extremely terrifying. He was like a supreme king, commanding everyone and everything. For example, making people kneel or making people commit suicide. Now, he wasn't targeting Lin Xian. Instead, he was targeting the destructive power and making it disappear. In the sky, the strange sword qi indeed stopped. Its light dimmed, and its power weakened, as if it was about to disappear. This was the power of the Tao of dominance. However, the domineering Tao wasn't having it easy either. Under the power of annihilation, it was disappearing slowly as well. Two powers that were close to the Tao collided in the sky. In an instant, the surrounding void collapsed and was annihilated, turning into countless large black holes. It was soundless, but it was more terrifying than a myriad of divine abilities. Everyone knew that right now, even if a king at the perfect level stood there, he would be instantly killed, unable to escape at all. You really do possess a power that is close to the Tao. Jun Wuya was too shocked. With this kind of power, one would have the qualifications to stand at the peak of the extraordinary warrior mansion. The other party was a very powerful enemy. But so what? Jun Wuya smiled. I admit that you are very strong, and your talent is heaven-defying. I have never seen anyone who could comprehend this kind of power so quickly. But it's a pity that you still met me. Jun Wuya's body emitted a terrifying aura, and his eyes became brighter and brighter. If it was me a few months ago, I might not have been your match. Unfortunately, in these few months, I have a breakthrough in my comprehension of heaven and earth. My control of the Tao of dominance has improved again. So, you are not my opponent at all. Next, I will let you see my true strength. Sovereign descends. As he spoke, the power of the Tao of dominance in front of him became stronger again. It was as if a heavenly emperor had been resurrected, looking down on the world. At this moment, everyone felt that they were insignificant and would be crushed at any time. It's over. Lin Xian is in danger. Yes, they didn't expect Jun Wuya to be hiding his strength. This kind of power that is close to the Tao is too terrifying. It has already surpassed Lin Xian. Unless Lin Xian had other trump cards, he couldn't win at all. What other trump cards could he have? Being close to the Tao was already his greatest trump card. Everyone shook their heads. Although Lin Xian was monstrously strong, he was probably going to lose this time. Has his strength increased again? Seeing that the sword qi he sent out was slowly disappearing, and the emperor figure was getting stronger and stronger, Lin Xian's eyes flickered. True strength? Well, I will let you see it. With a low roar, the great dragon's sword soul erupted. The power of the great dragon sword soul overlapped with the power of annihilation. In front of him, the sword light was originally dim and about to be extinguished at any time. But suddenly it seemed to be injected with a mysterious power and suddenly soared. It slashed in the air. The emperor figure was cut in half at the waist. Whoosh! The emperor figure and the illusion condensed by the Tao of dominance disappeared. Jun Wuya vomited blood and fell to the ground. How is this possible? He actually broke my Tao of dominance. Could it be that he was also hiding his strength? Damn it, who the hell is this kid? Jun Wuya's body trembled. The others were also stunned. They were like statues, their minds in a daze. This scene was simply too inconceivable. He won, he actually won. The northern monster's pupils shrank. He knew Jun Wuya's strength. In his opinion, it would not be easy for Lin Xian to win against Jun Wuya. It was even possible that both of them would be injured. But now, Lin Xian actually suppressed Jun Wuya. He was not injured at all. It seems that his strength is beyond my imagination. The northern monster took a deep breath. Yu Linglong and Han Fei were both shocked. They could feel an immense threat. A rising genius was charging towards them. They had no choice but to treat him with caution. They were afraid that if they encountered Lin Xian in the future, they would have to use their full strength. Otherwise, they would end up like Jun Wuya. The black demon's body trembled, and his face was filled with fear. He originally wanted to challenge Lin Xian. He thought that his strength had increased greatly in the past few months, and he could easily trample on Lin Xian. But now, after seeing the battle between Lin Xian and Jun Wuya, he immediately changed his mind. Fight with Lin Xian? Trample on Lin Xian? What a joke! Even Jun Wuya, who had comprehended the Tao of Dominance, was not a match for him, let alone him. Now, he only hoped that they would not encounter each other. The Great Elder, the Four Peak Masters, and the Mansion Master were also overjoyed. Lin Xian's strength was beyond their imagination. Finally, another peerless genius had appeared in their extraordinary scholar mansion. This guy would not be any weaker than Yi Guqing when he grew up. This kid had the aura of an emperor. His future achievements were limitless. The Mansion Master nodded in satisfaction. Chapter 3086. Winner, Full Moon Peak's Lin Xian. The referee elder hurriedly announced the result. Soon, someone carried Jun Wuya off the stage. Lin Xian's figure flickered as he arrived below the stage. He stood with his hands behind his back and continued to watch the battle. This guy actually won. He actually comprehended the full moon wordless steel. How despicable! Qing Wu was stunned, and so was Zhong Lingxiu. Xin Jingqiu was even happier. Her big eyes turned into crescents. The battle continued. This time, it was Shui Jiyu and He Mo's battle. When the two of them appeared, the crowd exclaimed again. The two of them were also outstanding sky prides. If the Northern Yao, Yu Linglong, and the others were top-tier sky prides who had comprehended the Tao, then Shui Jiyu and He Mo were in the second tier. Whether it was He Mo or Shui Jiyu, they were top-tier existences, even in the second tier. Especially the two of them who had recently become very famous. He Mo had fought his way back from the fallen abyss, while Shui Jiyu had fought her way back from the blood refinement star. Both places were extremely dangerous. There were even places where half-saints were unwilling to enter. However, not only did the two of them enter, but they also came back alive. Their strength had greatly increased. On the stage, Shui Jiyu waved her blood-red scimitar and turned into a god of death. Monstrous blood-red light surged in all directions and covered the entire sky. The blood in the crowd's body roiled. The murderous aura almost made many people faint. On the other side, He Mo was even more violent. His demonic aura filled the sky. The battle between the two was like a god of death fighting a demon king. It was earth-shattering. All kinds of magical techniques emerged one after another. Even the elders nodded in satisfaction. The two of them were not bad. Their strength had greatly increased compared to before. Is Shui Jiyu going to use blood crystal? An elder exclaimed. He Mo was going to use the 9 heavens, fallen demon. In the sky, countless blood-red scimitar lights quickly condensed into a blood-red figure. It carried a powerful force as it charged forward. On the other side, the 9 heavens were upside down. Countless black runes formed a black abyss. The two terrifying forces exploded, destroying the world. Terrifying energy soared into the sky. In the end, Black Demon won by half a move, and a hellish crack pierced through the blood-red figure, causing Shui Jiyu to cough up blood and fly back. Win. He Mo actually won. Everyone cried out in surprise. This was a scene they had never imagined. Before, although He Mo was strong, he was ranked behind Shui Jiyu. Who would have thought that he would be able to make a comeback this time? The people of Full Moon Peak were also screaming crazily. First it was Lin Xian, and now it was Black Devil. This time their Full Moon Peak was going to soar into the sky. Huangfu Beitian had yet to make his move. How would he perform this time? Everyone was looking forward to it. Not long after, Huangfu Beitian made his move. He walked up to the arena. Everyone screamed because his opponent had also come up. Han Fei. It was actually the third-ranked Han Fei. Huangfu Beitian was going to lose. Han Fei was extremely terrifying. He was even ranked above Junwuya. Junwu had already comprehended the power of Tao, so Han Fei must have comprehended it as well. Moreover, its power was even greater than Junwuya's. They wondered how Huangfu Beitian would contend against him. Huangfu Beitian was ranked 5th. They wondered if he had comprehended the power of Tao. They did not know. Last time, they did not see him use it. Perhaps this time, he might have comprehended it. After all, Lin Xian had not fought with Huangfu Beitian on Full Moon Peak, so no one could make Huangfu Beitian use his true power. Everyone was watching this battle. Lin Xian's eyes were also shining. He wondered what kind of power Han Fei had comprehended that was close to the Tao. He had already experienced Junwuya's domineering Tao, but he had not seen Han Fei, Yulinglong, and the Northern Demon's Tao. He could take advantage of this battle to observe. On the arena, neither of them spoke. Huangfu Beitian did not waste any time talking. He directly pulled out his mad blade and slashed forward. Wherever the long blade went, the void would be shattered. Han Fei was wearing a purple armor. Endless lightning rushed out of his body, instantly forming a lightning domain. He did not use his power of Tao. Instead, he used his king domain. After all, for these prodigies, the power of Tao was also a trump card. They could not use it casually. The purple lightning domain was extremely terrifying. It covered heaven and earth, and endless lightning fell from the sky. Every bolt of lightning could kill an invincible king. The elders were all astonished when they saw this. The elders of Divine Tactics Peak exclaimed. Han Fei's strength had increased again. Yes, although he was only at the peak of the 9-star realm, those at the peak of the invincible realm were not his match. Not only that, his lightning was approaching a limit. If it went any higher, it would be at the half-step saint level. If a half-step saint did not use the power of laws, it would be difficult to resist this lightning. Everyone discussed. Without a doubt, the purple lightning domain was extremely terrifying. The sky full of lightning enveloped Huangfu Beitian and swallowed him. Huangfu Beitian slashed in all directions with his long blade. The purple lightning that rushed toward him was all destroyed by him. He used his maximum speed and charged forward. What a violent saber technique! Countless experts exclaimed. The elders' eyelids also twitched. They originally thought that with Han Fei's strength, he could win by using his king domain. But now, it seemed that they had underestimated Huangfu Beitian. At this moment, Huangfu Beitian was charging forward like a god of sabers. Nothing could stop him wherever he went. The surrounding lightning kept shattering, and the void collapsed. Pung pung pung. In an instant, Huangfu Beitian broke through the purple lightning clouds and arrived in front of Han Fei. Han Fei let out a soft exclamation of surprise. You can break through my lightning domain. I really underestimated you. Pa! He raised his hand and struck forward. Huangfu Beitian's saber became stronger and more violent. In the end, even Yu Linglong, the North Demon, and the others were surprised. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He exclaimed in his heart, "This Huangfu Beitian is incredible. His saber technique is so sharp." He nodded in admiration. He was a swordsman. A swordsman was similar to a saber artist. At this moment, he could see that Huangfu Beitian's saber was not only sharp, but also precise and violent. Every strike had its effect. He did not waste a single bit of energy. No wonder Huangfu Beitian could be ranked first on the full moon peak. Compared to Heimo, he was much stronger. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. He had seen the Black Demon's previous battle. It was very terrifying. However, in his opinion, it was too wasteful. Although the demonic aura was monstrous, most of the energy was just dazzling. It was not a threat to the opponent. However, Huangfu Beitian was different. His power was all concentrated on his saber. One saber strike could destroy everything. Lin Xian was sure that if Huangfu Beitian fought the Black Demon with all his strength, he would be able to defeat the Black Demon in 3 strikes. However, he still shook his head. If it was before, Huangfu Beitian would indeed be a great threat to him. However, it was different now. He had comprehended 2 types of power that were close to the Tao. He had completely surpassed ordinary invincible kings. If Huangfu Beitian did not have such power, he would not be a match for him at all. Chapter 3087. Han Fei was astonished by Huangfu Beitian's saber. I didn't expect your saber technique to be so sharp. I admit that if I don't use my final trump card, I might not be able to suppress you 100%. Unfortunately, I'm going to get serious. The purple lightning around Han Fei's body became even more terrifying as he spoke. Let me show you my Tao of lightning. Great destruction. Han Fei's aura had changed. He struck out with his palm, and the sky was completely torn apart. Endless lightning struck Huangfu Beitian and sent him flying. Huangfu Beitian's frenzied saber also broke into 2 halves with a clang. A power close to the Tao had appeared. Great destruction. As soon as this power appeared, it destroyed everything. The people of the divine will peak screamed, and the elders let out a sigh of relief. Lin Xian stared at the sky with burning eyes. The Tao of lightning was one of the 3,000 Taos of heaven and earth. Furthermore, it was an extremely violent type. The power of lightning was one of the most violent forces in the world, and lightning-type experts were known for their violent destruction. At this moment, the Tao of thunder that Han Fei had comprehended was unleashed, it truly destroyed everything. The power was 100 times stronger than the demonic aura and endless sea of blood that Shui Jiue and the Black Demon had displayed. The Black Demon, Shui Jiue, and the others trembled under the power, and their faces were filled with despair. Huangfu Beitian also spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked at the broken saber in his hand and shook his head helplessly. He stood up. I still have one last attack that I haven't used yet. It's useless. You're no match for me. Han Fei shook his head. However, Huangfu Beitian did not admit defeat. He took a step forward and yelled, "Final saber! I intend to defeat the heavens!" Huangfu Beitian yelled, and the light on his body was extremely bright like the sun. It was so bright that the crowd could not open their eyes. No way Huangfu Beitian is still going to attack? His saber is already broken. The surrounding Sky Pride screamed, and the elders were shocked. He's treating himself as a saber with this move. This guy is really crazy. Buzz! Buzz! Huangfu Beitian turned into a saber and descended from the sky. Han Fei's eyelids twitched, and his face sank. The final saber? It's indeed powerful, but it's still not enough. Great spear of destruction. Boundless lightning surged around his body, forming a purple divine spear of annihilation that pierced forward. Boom! Boom! A terrifying power erupted between heaven and earth. Huangfu Beitian was sent flying, his face pale. On the other side, the purple divine spear also paused slightly as it shattered the void. Seeing this scene, the referee elder immediately announced that Han Fei was the victor. The full moon peak's grand elder's figure flickered, and he took Huangfu Beitian away. As expected, everyone sighed. In front of a power that was close to the Tao, no matter how powerful a divine ability was, it was useless. Han Fei retracted all of his power, his expression somewhat cold. His final attack had actually failed to pierce through his opponent. Instead, his opponent had actually caused his great destruction spear to pause slightly. This was simply inconceivable. This Huangfu Beitian was also a fierce man. Once he comprehended a power that was close to the Tao, his strength would probably undergo an earth-shaking change. Han Fei took a deep breath and left the arena. This battle shook the heavens and the earth, truly shocking everyone. Although Huangfu Beitian did not comprehend anything close to the power of the Tao, his final words were like a blade, shocking the heavens and shocking enough to shock everyone. Even the elders exclaimed in surprise, transforming into a saber, the ultimate slash. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he was astounded. This Huangfu Beitian was not far away from comprehending a power that was close to the Tao. He was only one step away from comprehending it. He knew that Huangfu Beitian would be able to comprehend it soon after the battle. But what about this competition? Huangfu Beitian had no chance of coming in the top 3. However, the final slash did give Lin Xian some inspiration. Lin Xian could feel that his understanding of the sword Tao had improved. The following battles were even more intense. The participants continued to draw lots in the next round. After the first round, Lin Xian was matched against the Black Demon in the second round. The Black Demon wore an unpleasant expression. He even had the urge to kill himself. 10 days ago, he had returned in a domineering manner with great confidence. In his opinion, he would be able to crush both Huangfu Beitian and Lin Xian under his feet. He would become the strongest cultivator of the Full Moon Peak. He might even be able to make it to the top 5. However, when he saw Lin Xian defeating Junwei with a power that was close to the Tao, the Black Demon knew that there was no way he could defeat Lin Xian. He was no match for Lin Xian at all. Lin Xian could probably defeat him with a single move. Furthermore, he would be severely injured. The Black Demon could not accept such a huge difference. He felt that his hard work, effort, and pride over the past few months had all been crushed into pieces by Lin Xian. I admit defeat. On the stage, Black Demon used all of his strength to say these 3 words. At that moment, he could even hear the sound of his heart shattering. Lin Xian did not make his move. He did not even look at the Black Demon. His opponent was no match for him at all. He could not even take a single move from him, winning without a fight. This was another person who had done it after the North Demon. This Lin Xian was too terrifying. His fame was comparable to the North Demon. This kid could definitely make it to the top 3. Who could he push down? It would be difficult. The top 3 had all comprehended a power that was close to the Tao. They were all very terrifying. Although this kid was strong and had defeated Junwei, it would not be easy for him to squeeze into the top 3. Lin Xian, it's my turn. Lin Xian came down, and on the other side, Xin Jingqiu walked up. Be careful, don't get hurt. Lin Xian was concerned. It was that spiritual body. She was also very strong. He wondered who her opponent was. The surrounding martial artists and elders were all interested when they saw Shen Jingqiu on the arena. This time, Shen Jingqiu had also displayed her powerful strength. Her cultivation was probably the highest among the younger generation of the elite warrior manner. Humph! A cold snort was heard. Then a man in silver armor flew through the air and landed on the arena. Lightning surrounded his body, supporting a lightning domain as if he was the god of thunder. Mo Tian, it was actually him. Mo Tian, the second disciple of the divine strategy peak, ranked 7th in the elite warrior manner. His strength was unquestionable. Moreover, it was rumored that Mo Tian had recently found the ruins of a half-step saint and obtained a lot of good things. It was over. That Shan Jingqiu was going to be in danger. Yes, although she was a spiritual body and had high cultivation, her combat strength was not the strongest. If she was lucky, she could make it to the top 10. But now that she had encountered Mo Tian, she would probably be defeated. She could only blame her bad luck. But it was not a big deal. She was very young. Even if she failed this time, it did not matter. With her talent, strength, and appearance, she would definitely be the future goddess of the elite warrior manor. Perhaps Qingwu's status would be challenged. Indeed, everyone was very excited. One could imagine how popular Shinjingqiu would be in the elite warrior manor in the coming days. Chapter 3088. Below the arena, Lin Xian frowned slightly. The crimson dragon beside him was also muttering to himself. She should be fine, right? Jingqiu clenched her fists when she heard the discussions around her. Her expression turned serious, and her body exuded a hazy purple aura. Do these people not think highly of me? However, I won't lose. Jingqiu snorted coldly in her heart. Brother Lin Xian is so strong. He has already comprehended the power of the Tao. As his woman, I can't be a burden. Brother Lin Xian, don't worry. I'm not just a pretty face. I'll win for sure. Jingqiu slowly formed a seal with her hands. Opposite her, Mo Tian's body was surrounded by lightning. He looked ahead and said, coldly, it's useless. You're not my match. Silver armor lightning ring. Mo Tian opened his mouth and spat out a ring. It was formed by silver lightning. Once it appeared, it flashed with terrifying lightning runes and streaked across the sky. Terrifying energy undulations surged forward, trying to pierce through Jingqiu. The power that was learned in the book was simply too terrifying and violent. Even a peak-tier invincible king would be killed instantly. Jingqiu didn't retreat in the face of this attack. Her fingers quickly formed a seal, and she shouted, Cloud-grasping fist. Boundless, deathly aura wrapped around Jingqiu's jade-like hands as she grabbed forward. What? She wants to grab the silver armor lightning ring with her bare hands? That's impossible. Does she want to die? The runes on the silver armor lightning ring were terrifying. It was clearly the work of a half-saint. This was definitely a treasure that Mo Tian had obtained from a half-saint relic. Even the older invincible kings didn't dare to take such an attack head-on. How dare she do it with her bare hands? Where did she get her confidence from? Her cultivation? However, in front of such a treasure, the gap between their cultivations was very close. The surrounding people were shocked. They thought that Jingqiu was too careless. Is there anything wrong with that little girl? The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. Lin Xian's eyes flashed and golden runes shone. He shook his head slightly. No problem. It seems like I've underestimated Qiu is definitely going to win this battle. These words had the surrounding geniuses bewildered. They then shook their heads and laughed coldly. Lin Xian might be powerful, but Jingqiu might not be. Although the other party is your woman, you can't be so confident. Mo Tian was ranked 7th in the House of Prodigy. He was even stronger than Mo. They didn't believe Lin Xian's words, but in the next moment, their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. In front of him, a pair of purple jade-like hands reached out and shuttled through the void. They grabbed the silver lightning ring and squeezed it hard. With a cracking sound, the lightning ring broke into 2 halves. What? He was caught. Everyone was shocked, and he even broke it. Heavens, what kind of method is this? These people were going crazy. Some of the elders were also shocked. Previously, they didn't think highly of Jingqiu. They thought that Jingqiu was too arrogant to take the attack with her bare hands. It was very likely that he would be seriously injured. However, the result was beyond their expectations. It was actually broken. Mo Tian also frowned as his pupils abruptly shrank. He had never taken the other party seriously before, but from the looks of it now, he had underestimated the other party. Sure enough, you have the ability. No wonder you dare to make a move against me. But that attack just now was just my probing. Next, you will receive a storm-like attack. Emotion gave a cold shout. His eyes erupted with a piercing cold light. His body was like lightning as he quickly rushed forward. In an instant, he arrived in front of Shen Jingqiu. His palm was like a lightning blade, invincible as it chopped down from the sky. It was comparable to a peak treasure. Rushing thunder hand. It was the lightning, great divine ability again. Shen Jingqiu turned into a purple cloud and disappeared in an instant. Even though the rushing thunder hand pierced through the cloud, it didn't hurt Shen Jingqiu. Following that, the two displayed their great divine abilities and began to contend in the sky. The surrounding people were shocked. At first, they didn't dare to believe it. Then they burst into exclamations that filled the sky. This Shen Jingqiu was really too powerful. Didn't expect that she could actually contend with Emotion. Moreover, they were evenly matched. Heavens, is this a spirit body? She's also a newcomer. Why do I feel that everyone who is related to Lin Xian is so perverted? Everyone exclaimed. Those elders were also full of joy. However, Emotion frowned. After fighting for so long, he had displayed so many lightning great divine abilities, but he couldn't do anything to his opponent. He couldn't believe it. In the next moment, he gave a violent shout and rushed into the sky. Lightning surrounded his body. The terrifying lightning made people's souls tremble. Little girl, you've angered me. Next, I'll let you see my new treasure. Emotion stretched out his hand. On his right wrist, there was a string of crystal clear lightning beads. There were a total of 18 lightning beads drawn on the beads. Each lightning rune transformed into a lightning beast on the lightning beads. The 18 lightning beads were connected together. It was incomparably ferocious. At this moment, under Emotion's powerful lightning power, the 18 lightning beads flickered rapidly. The 18 lightning runes gushed out, and a terrifying power erupted. What was that? It must be a treasure obtained from the half-saint's ruins. It was too powerful. It was second only to the power close to Tao. Perhaps only the power close to Tao and Huangfu Baiyan's ultimate blade could shatter it. Did Shen Jingqiu still have a trump card? If she didn't, she would have lost. Furthermore, she might be severely injured. Everyone started to worry for this beautiful girl again. Shen Jingqiu naturally felt threatened. The lightning runes emitted by the 18 lightning beads made her body tense up. Humph! She shouted. Do you want to compete with your final trump card? Come on, I'll let you see my trump card. Spiritual Wuji. With a low shout, a rune appeared between Shen Jingqiu's eyebrows. It was a mysterious, blood-red rune. Once this blood-red rune appeared, the spiritual energy in the sky surged. Endless energy surged towards Shen Jingqiu like a rain of light. Shen Jingqiu's aura also rose rapidly. This aura? What's going on? Damn it, how is it possible? The elders stood up, their faces full of shock. Lin Xian was also shocked. Qiu Er's aura had surpassed that of an invincible king. Indeed, Shen Jingqiu was in the complete invincible realm. She had reached the limit of an invincible king. But now, his opponent's cultivation had increased again. Could it be that she was going to enter the half-saint realm? I didn't expect her to cultivate her spiritual body to such a level. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. The surrounding people were horrified. That's not right. A half-saint didn't just increase one's cultivation, but also one's understanding of the Tao of heaven and earth. If she didn't understand the Tao of heaven and earth, how could she become a half-saint? That was indeed the case. A half-saint was equivalent to half a step into the realm of a saint. They could already understand the Tao of heaven and earth. The power they controlled surpassed the power close to Tao. It was called the fragment of the laws. It was an incomplete law. Once they understood the complete law, they would break through from a half-saint to a true saint. It could be said that the half-saint realm was below the saints. It was completely above the invincible kings. Chapter 3089. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. What do you know? How can you understand the power of a spirit body? This was a famous physique in ancient times. Her cultivation had already surpassed the invincible king realm. She had not reached the saint realm, but she could reach the half-saint realm. It was just that she had not comprehended the laws. A half-saint realm without comprehending the laws. Countless exclamations were heard. The elders were also shocked. The 4 peak masters and supreme elders were also surprised. The mansion master nodded slightly. Not bad, not bad. This little girl is very talented. Even Han Fei, Yu Linglong, and the others were surprised. The northern demon also had a serious expression. In the arena, Mo Tian frowned. His body trembled slightly. He felt a terrifying pressure coming from his opponent. This pressure was too strong. If Luo Yinyang's cultivation base was a great river, then Luo Yinyang's cultivation base was an endless ocean. This kind of comparison was enough to directly crush him. Buzz. He could not wait any longer. He could not let his opponent's aura completely increase. He waved his arm, and the 18 lightning pearls on his wrist rushed out. They circled in the sky and enlarged like 18 stars. The 18 lightning beasts on the pearls kept roaring. They sometimes turned into ferocious beasts, and sometimes into ancient runes. As they rose and fell, bolts of lightning descended from the sky and completely engulfed the area below. The 18 lightning beasts finally burst out at this moment and rushed down. Boom! The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. This was a fatal attack. An invincible king realm expert could not withstand it. In the sea of lightning, Xin Jingqiu also made her move. The purple cloud armor appeared on her body. She was like a supreme goddess. With a wave of her hand, the surrounding lightning shattered. Then, she slapped out a lightning beast that was close to her and sent it flying. She was too strong. Her power had surpassed the invincible king realm and even reached the level of Huangfu Baitian's ultimate blade. However, the ultimate blade could only be used once. Shen Jingqiu could now maintain this power and form a special state. So strong! Was this the power of a spirit body? Huangfu Baitian was also shocked. Even Han Fei, Junwuya, and the other geniuses who had comprehended the Tao looked solemn. His opponent was currently a half-saint. Although she had not comprehended the laws, she was extremely powerful. She had surpassed the invincible king realm. However, they were confident that they could defeat the other party. But what if the other party's cultivation level increased to that of a saint? Although there were no laws, with that boundless and ferocious cultivation strength, could it suppress them? They had no idea. Moreover, they did not know if Xin Jingqiu could reach that level. But no matter what, this was an opponent with great potential. The more Xin Jingqiu fought, the braver she became. She was like a fairy from the 9 heavens, sweeping through all directions. The 18 lightning beasts were beaten by her until they screamed miserably. In the end, they were all turned into ashes. Ka. Cracks had also appeared on the mysterious lightning bead bracelet. It looked like it would collapse at any moment. Seeing this, Mo Tian's face turned extremely ugly. He hurriedly put away the lightning bead bracelet. He had lost. Mo Tian actually lost. Everyone cried out in disbelief. Mo Tian was ranked 7th. How powerful! Especially when he used the 18 lightning beads bracelet. He would be able to fight against Huangfu Baitian. But now he had lost to Xin Jingqiu. It was unbelievable. Why do I feel that Xin Jingqiu is too scary? That move of hers was able to fight against a power that was close to the Tao. I don't know. The power that was close to the Tao was too strange. Unless they really fought, no one would be able to deduce it. I've won. Shun Jingqiu heaved a sigh of relief. She removed the power of the bloodline, and the rune between her eyebrows disappeared. Her cultivation had also returned to the invincible, great perfection realm. Big brother Lin Xian, Qiu has won. Shun Jingqiu cheered as she ran down the arena. Lin Xian was also very happy. He hugged Shun Jingqiu in his arms. Everyone was extremely envious. Damn, the new goddess is already taken. Many people were disappointed. Shun Jingqiu's appearance, cultivation, strength, and talent were all excellent. She was not inferior to Qinggu at all. She was a new goddess. However, at this moment, when they saw Shun Jingqiu snuggling in Lin Xian's arms with a blissful look on her face, the surrounding geniuses felt their hearts bleeding. They had not even started to fight, but the goddess was already taken? If it wasn't for Lin Xian, I really want to go up and beat him up. Sai, forget it. I'll give Lin Xian some face. These people shook their heads and sighed. It was not that they did not want to fight, but that they could not beat Lin Xian. The competition continued. Next, another peerless genius appeared. It was Zhong Lingxiu. She defeated Xue Jiwa in a domineering manner, which also shocked the crowd. Shun Jingqiu was already taken, but Zhong Lingxiu did not seem to be. Whoever was able to gain the favor of Fairy Zhong would definitely be extremely lucky. These geniuses, once again, looked at Zhong Lingxiu. However, Zhong Lingxiu's gaze was calm, as if she did not pay special attention to anyone. Lin Xian, the North Demon, and the others also frowned slightly. This was because they saw coldness and disregard in each other's eyes. Indeed, it was coldness and disregard, as if she did not care about the entire world. How confident did she have to have such an expression? Was she looking down on the world? Lin Xian was surprised. It seemed that Zhong Lingxiu was more mysterious than he thought. He wondered if she had grasped a power that was close to Tao. The competition continued. Everyone went up one after another. Among them, Lin Xian won every match. Shun Jingqiu and Yu Linglong fought and lost to Yu Linglong. Jun Wuya attacked again. After winning a few matches, he lost to Han Fei. Huangfu Beitian, He Mo, and the others also attacked. There were victories and defeats. There were only 4 people who won every match. The North Demon, Yu Linglong, Han Fei, and Lin Xian. Buzz, a figure walked up. He wore a purple armor and was surrounded by a purple sea of lightning. It was Han Fei. After Han Fei came up, he looked around. I wonder who his opponent is. No matter who it was, they would be miserable. Other than the North Demon and Yu Linglong, no one could beat him. It's my turn. Lin Xian also walked up the stage. Everyone screamed. What? It's Lin Xian. Lin Xian was going to fight Han Fei. Heavens, is the final battle about to begin? Both of them had won every match. Moreover, both of them had grasped a power that was close to Tao. Who would be the stronger one if the two of them fought? Han Fei stood in the field with a serious expression. His eyebrows and hair were purple and surrounded by powerful lightning. When he saw Lin Xian come up, he said coldly, "The power that you've grasped is close to Tao. It's strange. It's like destruction, but it's silent. It's similar to my Tao of lightning. I really want to know who's stronger between the two of you." At this point, endless lightning surged from Han Fei's body and pierced through the 9 heavens. I want to know too. It seems like I'll be able to get the result now. Lin Xian smiled, then extended a hand in invitation. A terrifying aura surged from his body as if he was a demon king that could destroy everything. Great destruction. Han Fei threw a punch. Terrifying energy surged, and everywhere it passed, the sky collapsed. Chapter 3090. A power that was close to the Tao had appeared. Everyone was amazed when they saw the power of great destruction again. The elders were also excited. Lin Xian's expression was solemn. He did not dare to be careless against this power. Buzz! He waved his sword and executed the Sword of Annihilation. With a slash of the sword destroyed everything. The two collided in the air, and the resulting power made Huangfu Beitian, Mo Tian, Hey Mo, and the others scream in horror. It was too terrifying. Most likely, he could defeat them with a single move, or even kill them. Boom! 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 The two forces dissipated at the same time. It was indeed powerful. It was mysterious. It seemed that this power alone could not do anything to you. Han Fei snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, endless lightning quickly formed a spear that he held in his hand. Great Destruction Spear. He waved the spear in his hand and stabbed out. Thousands of light shadows surged forward with the power of destruction. One after another, they were densely packed and enveloped the entire world. This was a law ability. An elder exclaimed, a power that was close to the Tao coupled with an unparalleled ability. Heavens! Han Fei was too heaven-defying. His application of this power was simply too powerful. In the previous battle, even if it was close to the Tao, he could easily defeat the enemy with just one or two moves. It was the first time that such a fusion of power had appeared. Therefore, everyone was amazed. They looked at Lin Xian, wondering if Lin Xian could resist it. How far had Lin Xian's comprehension of the laws reached? A law ability? It's really surprising. He smiled and was not afraid at all. In the next moment, he waved his sword and destroyed the lotus. Streaks of sword chi appeared one after another, forming numerous green lotuses in the sky. Each sword lotus carried an extremely strong power of annihilation. Anyone who touched it would turn into nothingness. A law ability. Another law ability. He fused a power that was close to the Tao into his sword technique. This Lin Xian was incredible. Clang! The blazing Qilin sword and the Great Destruction spear collided, producing an earth-shaking sound. Many people's bodies swayed. Hey Mo and the others turned pale and retreated frantically. It was too terrifying. In the sky, half of the sky had turned into a terrifying black hole. Rumbling nonstop and flashes of lightning flashed within. The other half of the sky instantly collapsed. The two forces clashed in the sky. After the first attack, the two continued to attack. Damn it, I can't do anything to him. Han Fei's face sank. He opened his mouth and spat out a large bell. Undying thunderous roar. The huge bell in the sky shook violently. Runes appeared on its surface and surged in all directions like a tide. Saint runes! Someone screamed. No, this is not an ordinary saint's rune. Finally, a grand elder cried out in alarm. The saint's runes also contained power that was close to the Tao. What? How could he have such a thing? Many heaven rankers were shocked, their faces pale. There were also elders who said that the runes of saints were engraved by saints and were mysterious and profound. Ordinary, invincible kings could only erupt with a portion of their power, but it was already very terrifying. They could laugh at the world. However, if it was activated by a half-saint, then it would release an even more terrifying power. If it was activated by a true saint, then it would be no different from a Tao pattern law. Therefore, although they were all saints' runes, the power would be different if the user was different. At this moment, in Han Fei's hands, it naturally displayed a power that was close to the Tao. Buzz! Buzz! Heaven and earth were everywhere, and all living things were huge. The terrifying sound waves were like thousands of soldiers and horses galloping. Clang! Clang! Puff! Many people vomited blood, and some people's weapons directly shattered, turning into scrap iron and falling to the ground. Retreat quickly! These people retreated crazily. The sound waves were too terrifying and could destroy everything. Waves of sound waves rushed forward. Annihilation Green Lotus, Seventh Sword. Lin Xian shouted coldly and slashed down. The biting cold sword chi with the power of annihilation slashed at the sound waves. The sound waves were like a tide. After touching the sword Qi, they quickly dissipated. It was useless. You could block it for a while, but you couldn't block it forever. Han Fei was abnormally strong. Above his head, the eternal demon Bell quickly attacked. It's over. Lin Xian is in danger. Yes, he only had a power that was close to the Tao. But now, Han Fei took out the eternal demon Bell, and the power it released was not weaker than the Tao. It was equivalent to 2 against 1. How could Lin Xian resist? Unless he also had such a treasure, or used a saint's rune. Otherwise, he was really in danger. Was Lin Xian going to be defeated? Lin Xian took a deep breath. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared and superimposed on the power of annihilation. In the next moment, he used the green lotus sword art again. Annihilation Green Lotus, 9th sword. Buzz! Buzz! 9 huge sword Qi intertwined in the sky, forming a lotus that bloomed quickly. The petals with the power of annihilation spun out and collided with the eternal demon Bell. With a clang, the eternal demon Bell was sent flying. The sound waves that filled the sky were shattered. Puff! Han Fei was hit and spurted out a mouthful of blood. At this moment, his expression changed drastically. The lotus in the sky enveloped him, and a terrifying power acted on his body, causing the lightning around him to disappear rapidly. Damn it! Get lost! Han Fei roared, and the power of annihilation burst out, bombarding the surroundings. However, he still underestimated this sword. After superimposing the power of the great dragon sword soul, its power was much stronger than before. Therefore, Han Fei was soon engulfed. The entire space had completely collapsed. How could it be? Han Fei couldn't block it? What was going on? The Skype rides screamed in horror. The people of Divine Tactics Peak were stunned. It shouldn't be. Han Fei had the upper hand after taking out the eternal demon Bell. Logically speaking, he should be able to defeat his opponent in a short time. But why did he end up in such a dangerous situation? How did that kid do it? The elders of Ethereal Peak and Exquisite Peak frowned. His power of annihilation had increased again. Could it be that he didn't use his full strength before? They sucked in a breath of cold air when they thought of this possibility. In front of them was a chaotic void. Finally, the terrifying power of annihilation slowly disappeared. A figure flashed out of the void. This figure was in a miserable state. Half of his body had disappeared, and his body was dyed red with blood. His handsome face was pale, and his eyes were filled with shock. Damn it! How could you be so powerful? This person was Han Fei. After seeing Han Fei's state, everyone was stunned. Even Yu Linglong's pupils shrank. Han Fei actually suffered such a heavy injury. How could this be? The northern demon sucked in a deep breath, and his expression was grave. As for the others, they were completely stunned. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.